At that point, people should have gone home. He should have said, you need to leave. It wasn't peaceful. It was a riot at that point.
If he says to,
you wanted him
to be peaceful,
the
that
initial contention, my understanding, I'm sorry,
you're
I thought
like
the
beyond
initial
splitting hairs.
I'm not beyond splitting hairs. It's very
contention
easy. So
that
if there's a
he
riot happening at the Capitol and you have the ability to tell your people to go home, you should probably tell your people to go home.
You wanted him to tell people to go home in the middle of the speech when he says to be peaceful?
You were just talking about his tweets that he made hours later at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Which one do you want to talk about?
But I thought you were complaining about the fact that he didn't direct people to be peaceful in the speech when he said, "I know you will be peaceful."
Well, yes, but that's because I'm just going through the whitehouse.gov J6 site, and I'm going through the timeline on the claim thing, right? And the second claim for the Save America rally is President Trump delivers powerful speech. That was just the very first one I was looking at. We can go through the rest of them after. I was just starting with that one.
I don't even think it's worth getting in the weeds of what he said.
Fine.
He said peacefully and patriotically. Like, we don't need a 10-minute discussion on what those words mean and how he meant it.
Sure. Well, he also did say, just to be clear, he said we have to fight like hell or we're going to lose our country, right?
Yep.
How would you describe the events? How would you describe the events that unfolded over the next 4 hours? How would you describe the events that unfolded? What did it seem was more happening? That people were fighting like hell because they thought they were going to lose their country, or that they were marching peacefully and patriotically?
I think 95% of the people, I believe 95% of the people that were there on J6, all they did was walk in. They didn't touch a fucking cop. They didn't break a window. They didn't do any of that. If you want to talk about the 5%, look, I don't agree. I don't agree with the assaults. I've said this. I said this on January 6th in the evening after seeing it. I said it on national television. I said it on CNN, and I said it on Univision. I can't vibe with people assaulting police officers. I think that they should have been arrested. I don't think that the problem was, I still think that they should be pardoned. Not for their actions, but because of how justice.
Why do we care about any of this? I don't know what we're talking about now. This doesn't do anything.
Well, no.
So we agree that.
I really don't care about you talking about.
I heard that you said 95% were peaceful. So that means 5%
were peaceful.
Okay, so then 5,000, 10,000 people were rioting then, if the president's own words are to be believed, because they say
is that the number of people?
They say hundreds. They say
people that walked into the Capitol that day.
There was about 100,000 people, I believe, is the number.
On the site, they say hundreds of thousands, so 5,000 to 10,000 violent rioters. Then
No. I'm asking you: is that the number? Are you citing the number of people that went inside the Capitol, or the number of people that attended the rally?
I'm giving what they had as attended the rally on the whitehouse.gov.
I'm not asking what they give you. I'm asking what you know.
I know that around 1,600 people were charged. I don't know how many people went into the building altogether. I don't have the count on that, so I don't know. But that's not really relevant.
You don't know what the 5. We could just say 5%. We don't got to go with the number because it wasn't tens of thousands of people that went in.
Sure, that's fine.
It's 1.5%, but it was a small number. I mean,
well, because only a small number of people even got to the building, right? That's how it works. Like in any riot, it's probably like 1 to 5% of people that are being violent, right?
There are probably thousands of people in the building. I was one of them, and Rike, I think this is, like you said. Well, I would say it's beside the point, because if you want to address the violence, it happened in very select areas, and there was a context behind it. Such as the Lower West Terrace Tunnel. It actually, one of the biggest reasons it wasn't an insurrection is that it got less violent when people got inside the building. If they were going to, become violent and overthrow the government, we would have been more violent in the building than out. But what you see is that when you review the video, it actually was at very select locations because people were incited. There were provocateurs. I agree with Enrique. Not everybody who was there was a good person.
So to be clear, the incitement was you trying to break through where cops were. When people were inside the building, they weren't violent because they didn't even know what they were supposed to do at that point.
What do you mean by you? What do you mean by you? Are you talking?
I'm speaking the general you, because he's talking about the protesters not being violent once they got inside the building, because they didn't have much to be violent against, because all of the congressmen have been evacuated.
So you're agreeing with me and Tim and saying that some protesters were violent. Yeah, I agree with you. Some protesters were violent. I never even brought this up. I don't think this point is relevant to anything. I believe that they should be arrested, and I believe that they should have gotten some time in prison. Yes.
Yeah, in any riot, a small percentage of people are going to be violent.
10, 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I do.
And I don't believe it's like you said.
Before anyone else goes, hold on, just real quick. Before anyone else goes, I do want to make sure that Dev gets a chance to have to say.
Okay,
go ahead. Come in and give us what he's gotten. I do see Gibbs, Kung Fu Joe over there. We're gonna get you in here in a second. Dev, go ahead. Give us what you think.
I've been listening. This is kind of crazy. Just because I don't know who you are, the guy with the green background, but you were talking about Trump's tweets, and I mean, while the riot was happening, you expect a decent, competent, good leader to try to calm people down. That's what you expect them to say. But I mean, at 2:24 p.m., Donald Trump tweeted, Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution, giving states a chance to certify a corrected set of facts, not the fraudulent or inaccurate ones which they were asked to previously certify. Now, that statement, is that going to calm people down or rile people up, do you think?
Well, I can tell you from my own experience, it didn't rile me up. I actually, at that point, I actually wrongfully assumed when I read that tweet, I was
Why
already
is he
in the
answering
crypt.
from his own personal experience? What are we doing?
Because he was there.
Because I was asked, what do you think?
Okay,
What do you think most
He was
people are
in the
doing?
How about everyone else's perspective then?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I think most people...
You're asking to give other people's perspective that's not here?
Yeah, that's kind of
his
how
own
reality works.
perspective.
We kind of speak for how we think people are generally like motivated by things or what might cause people to do things. Are we incapable here of
He's a people.
fathoming other
Here,
people's
you know
state of
what?
mind?
I'm going to
That...
tell you exactly what people thought.
No,
I'm going to tell you
how about, let's
exactly
not
what people
generalize to some bullshit. Just stay on the specific things.
No,
Dev asked a
no, I'm
specific
gonna
question.
give you exactly what people
Dev gave
thought,
a
and
specific tweet.
I'm going to give you
when
my
people saw
specific
that Pence had failed,
thing.
what did Pence fail? What were the people do
So
after?
anybody who
Give us
thinks
your
that the only reason, excuse me, I think anybody who thinks that the only reason that people went into the Capitol is because Trump told them that the election was stolen is a retard. I think they weren't looking backwards, and it started with Hillary Clinton in September of 2016.
What were people at the Capitol for?
Trump supporters
What were people at the Capitol for?
As a basket of deplorables.
Oh,
then
in
you take us
2016,
off
how
social
many people
media,
invaded the
Then you
Capitol?
go ahead and
The answer
you
is zero. The
definance
answer is
us,
zero. Yeah,
you
it's none.
deplatform us. You shut down our businesses
zero.
during COVID.
Yep, yeah,
Right?
it's zero.
You allow the
Who shut
summer
down
of
the
love to
businesses during
happen
COVID? Wasn't
unchecked.
Trump the president for that?
And
Oh, who was the president for the summer of love? Wasn't Trump the president for that? Notice how
One at
all
a
of your
time.
facts
One at
are
a time.
wrong.
Hold on. One at a time. Both of you,
Is
please.
somebody
Let
stole the
Enrique finish.
fucking election. So yeah, we were pissed
Trump
off
tried
about
to,
a
but he
million
failed.
fucking things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree.
there's a million things that we're pissed off about. It
So
wasn't
for
just
January 6th, why were people at the Capitol? What were they there for?
We were there to fucking peacefully protest
Who called them
the
there?
stolen election.
Who called them there?
Yeah.
Hold on,
President
Destiny,
Trump called it.
I need to
There
ask
you
a
go.
question.
At the end.
Okay, cool.
I gotta
Thank
ask
you.
this. I'm sorry. Because do you truly believe that people, absent Trump, absent his speech, that they wouldn't have been people like showing up angry at the Capitol that day? Is that your claim?
Absent him
Far
inviting
less.
them there? Nah, maybe 1,000, maybe, I don't know, if that.
Well, hold on. So you don't believe that there are other factors leading up to that day from the time of the election, not including Trump, that would have motivated enough angry people to show up that day?
Well,
That's
I
your-
can
that's
tell
what
you
you're
what the other
claiming?
factors are. It's actually really easy. There was a whole bunch
Oh,
of people
there's a
online
lot.
who were posting. There's a whole bunch of people
No,
online.
hold on.
No. I'm
Let
going to
them answer your
I'm
question,
gonna answer
please.
you.
Go
There's a
ahead,
whole
Jeff.
bunch of people online who are posting about how Mike Pence has the power to send back the electors so that Trump can steal the election, and everyone was hyping themselves up for this bullshit. That's why you guys went there. It was retarded.
No. That's not the only thing I'm talking about. Like, I have a list of things that factually happened, and whether or not you can observe them through 2020 vision, like from now, doesn't matter, because we had so little time to analyze these things. So expanded mail-in voting due to COVID-19, late night vote count pauses and updates in key states, changes to the election procedures.
Every single one of these things
hold
failed
on,
in
I'm not
court.
done yet. I'm not done
They had
yet.
their day
I'm
in
not
court.
done yet.
You
Thank
lost
very
on
much.
every single
Hold
one of
on,
these.
buddy.
All of them.
Buddy, did
Every
you not
single
just
one.
hear what I just said?
It's cute. He
Did you
believes
not
Courts
hear
have,
what I
courts have
just said?
litigated all of these. You
Hold on.
lost.
Hold on. No. That you obviously weren't listening. If you listen, you could hear me better. What I said was, what happened by the time January 6th rolled around, we didn't have the time and
You
like
did.
8 hours a day for years on end. No, we didn't have
Yeah,
years
you did.
like you did.
Yep.
No, we didn't.
You did.
Okay, between January 6th and the election, the determination of the election, how much time was there?
A few months, but there was enough time that almost every
few
single
months,
claim,
yeah.
every single claim that
No, hold
Donald
on, I'm
Trump
not even
brought
done
up
yet.
in his speech had already been debunked thoroughly, and none of them,
Hold on,
absolutely
hold on.
zero of them, have held up
I would
today.
like
So apparently there was enough time.
No, that's not true.
It is.
Hold on.
No,
so
that is
Democrats
not
were
true,
saying-
actually.
Hold on,
Democrats were
That's not
saying that
true.
mail-in voting is the most unreliable form of voting. Democrats said that. That's something that's not going to change.
Who asked?
well,
What does that have to do with
we're
anything?
sitting
It's
here-
not relevant. Yeah.
So the White House
How is
posted
it not
this
relevant?
I want to hear from Gibbs. Gibbs, go ahead.
Yeah, so the White House posted this thing, and I really feel it's important that we kind of like analyze it in the 2026 light, actually. What did they say? It says, in truth, it was the Democrats who staged the real insurrection by certifying the fraud-ridden election, including widespread irregularities and weaponizing federal agencies, all right? So we're seeing, look at this. Now we're looking at
Who are
right
you
now
even
what's
quoting?
happening.
Wait, who was that even a quote from?
That is the White House page, whitehouse.gov, the whole thing that we're here. Y'all literally posted and said, this is what we're debating today.
What's the point?
Anyway, well, I would like to get to it. Thank you. 1 second, please. Anyway, and so when we look at it in 2026 and we see all the fraud and we see places like Minnesota where we now have evidence that 197 duplicate ballots were posted. Yes, we do have that. It was just by the Congress just a couple days ago. Maybe keep up to date. We have that. We see evidence of the fraud. We see evidence of this NGOs paying for it. The Trump administration has been saying from day one when this went down that they're basically having some sort of system in place to rig the election. So they're the real insurrectionists by subverting the will of the voters, and that's what we're seeing has happened. They use the fraud.
Why didn't Trump said this coming in 2016? They had 4 years to find it. Why did Trump not find anything?
Oh yeah, because Biden's going to be investigating himself whenever he gets put in power, huh? Does that make sense? Give me a break. Come on, man.
No, Trump said there was rampant voter fraud for the 2016 election.
Yep.
He was in office for 4 years after. They found nothing. He put together a commission to find it. They found nothing. Why?
And yet now we're finding all sorts of stuff.
No, we're not.
So
but I didn't ask you about now.
I
said he had 4 years.
Well, I'm talking about now, though.
4 years.
We can talk about 4 years
well,
ago.
no, you weren't talking about now.
Mattering.
You brought up a quote from 2016. So you want to talk about now? If you want to talk about now, we can talk about now. Why don't we have any fraud from this election? He said there was millions of illegal voting. We don't have any fraud.
You understand that, right?
Okay.
The quote I just read from 3 days ago. You realize that, right?
I'm asking you, where is the evidence of the voter fraud? The rampant voter fraud in 2016, in 2020, in 2024?
We literally have evidence right now that 197 duplicates votes were cast in Minnesota's election, and 137,000 is what it cost to beat him, right? And so, yeah, clearly something was going on when we have billions in fraud and 197,000 duplicate votes in a state where they won. And it's
197,000 duplicate votes?
Was the VP candidate. Come on, bro. There's some kind of collusion here. That's the real insurrection.
Right.
Okay, I am curious. There's something Enrique said at the beginning of the show that people have been fed a lie about January 6th. If you could have, if there is one lie you could point to that the Biden administration or the Democrats or whoever has been saying about January 6th, what would you say that lie is? And then we can see if Dev and Destiny, what they think about that. What do you think, Enrique?
So to say something that I don't want to argue about, but just saying it's an insurrection was all bullshit. But to be more specific, and specific to my case, that we decided to plan to commit an act of sedition, which is one step on the treason for people that don't know that, to overthrow by force the United States government is bullshit. And they ran with this narrative, and they ran with this Tom Clancy novel. Because if you read not only my indictment, if you sat through the 6 months of my trial and you read all the bullshit that went on in the trial and how they wanted to paint it, I think that's one of the biggest miscarriages of justice and the biggest miscarriage of a PR campaign by the DOJ. So much so that I think I'm happy that I got 22 years because it opened people's eyes and was like, well, you know what? I don't like this guy, but he doesn't deserve 22 years because, you know, these facts are the case. And in my case, you know, we had FBI agents embedded within the group. We had CIs that were informing about the Proud Boys before January 6th and at January 6th, and not a single one of them did the prosecution put on the stand. So just to close up here,
can I just ask a couple questions on that?
Blaming, give me 1 second. I'm just closing up.
No, I mean, like, you said enough dumb shit, right? So, like, were the Proud Boys the ones that initially broke through?
Let me finish. And then you can go ahead and do your own shit.
Okay.
Yeah, just mute yourself for a second. So check this out. So I think in closing, just the narrative that went behind this seditious conspiracy with the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, it's bullshit. You want to get some of them. You want to get Dominic. Look, you want to get Dominic Pizzola for breaking a window.
Were the Proud Boys
the ones? You could go ahead and break a window.
Were the Proud Boys the ones that initially broke into the Capitol?
Were
the Proud Boys the ones that broke into the Capitol?
I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to keep talking for a second.
So much yapping.
If you want to get Dominic Pizzola for breaking a window, then absolutely go ahead. He'll tell you himself that he shouldn't have broken a window. And I'm unmuting.
The Proud Boys were the ones that broke through initially, right? They were the first ones in, right?
No, they weren't the first ones to break in.
They weren't the first one. So there wasn't, let me just be clear. So there wasn't a group of about 100 Proud Boys while Trump was still speaking that made their way to the Capitol.
There wasn't even 100 Proud Boys in the ground on January 6th. So let's start with correction.
Okay, how many would you say there were? 52. Okay.
52.
Was there a group of about 50 Proud Boys during Trump's speech that were already making their way to the Capitol that broke through the outer perimeter, then the second one, and then eventually broke through the window with the riot shield via Dominic? Was that all the Proud Boys?
No, apparently you don't know about the Dominic Pizzola. So we'll start with the Dominic Pizzola and work our way down. So with Dominic Pizzola, Dominic wasn't the one that initially broke the window, and he wasn't the last one to pull the window. He wasn't even the one that went in.
He didn't go in
He's
first.
just the one that conveniently was, he was not. That window was already broken. You want to pull up the video and take a look at the cracked window?
So you're telling me if you cracked window, notice how you just said cracked window? So he's the one who broke through the window with the riot shield. He was a Proud Boy. Yeah.
He finished breaking. He didn't even finish breaking the window.
Yes. Okay.
Because the window was still not accessible, and somebody else pulled down the window.
Somebody climbed in right after he did with the shield.
I go ahead and I challenge you, and I say, pull up the video, and we could discuss Dominic Pizzola.
And if he wants to, if he wants to, we can. So my question is when you tweeted out that you were proud of my boys in my country, okay?
Yes.
Don't fucking leave.
What time was that?
What were you referring there? You tell me. When you said you were proud of them, what were you referring to?
I was talking to the crowd. So let me listen. You could hit me for a lot of things, but the things that you're talking about, you can't. Right? I had direct communications with my guys via Telegram at the time. Right? So if I didn't want them to leave, why isn't there a message from me directly to them saying, don't fucking leave, just keep going? I put that message out on Parler, which is similar to Twitter, right? To the public. I was celebrating it. If that's what I'm guilty of, then fucking lock me away for 22 years. But how the fuck are you going to tell me for tweeting when you've tweeted so much fucking worse shit that you should probably be in prison for?
Yeah,
right?
that's great. Okay, so it was the Proud Boys who were in first, right? You were tweeting out, I'm proud of my boys and my country. Don't fucking leave, right? And they'd already broken in, and you said they were the first ones that broke through the outer perimeter. And the first right? So you knew that they were breaking in. You were proud of them for doing so.
I did not know they were
breaking
in.
Really, you had no idea.
I did not know they were breaking in. Okay, no, I didn't turn on the TV. I didn't turn on the TV.
I got the video. I got the video. You can look at it.
Can you send it to me and I can play it?
I've DM'd it to you. You can watch it.
A second.
First guy goes by Red on Red Glasses if you want to search the Sedition Hunter hashtag. The Indian looking fella. Red on Red Glasses.
Second.
They throw a 2x4 through the window first.
We'll see it in a moment. Just gotta. I'm juggling.
I can also throw this out there. There have been many attempts to get information from the government about who these individuals are, and little effort by the prosecution to identify these people. So I know Dominic as well. I did time with him. So I know for a fact he wouldn't be capable of planning an insurrection.
Okay, it's about a minute-long video that we're going to watch. If you click on the watch stream, we can all watch it.
Can we start with the windows broken?
Okay.
Can everybody see that? It's cracked?
Right there? Okay.
Yes.
Let's keep watching.
Okay.
There's 2x4.
This one?
Transfer too.
I don't know if I could use this.
And I think that's Dominic that are going in fourth, right? But he's the guy holding the shield.
He is indeed.
So this guy right here, he's Dominic?
Yep, and is a Proud Boy.
That is Dominic Pizzola. Yes, that's correct. Yep.
One, two.
If that guy could get over the fucking window.
2,
3.
3. He's
definitely fourth. 4 or 5. 4 or 5.
But
and I want to hear Destiny. I want to hear Destiny what Destiny has to say about this.
Just to be clear, he's absolutely breaking that window. Right?
Yes, of course.
He's absolutely no. Listen, Dominic will tell you himself he's breaking that window. Cool. But I'd love to hear Destiny's take on this. I don't know. Now, do you feel like you're wrong about being the first?
I never said he was the first one in. I said that the Proud Boys were involved in breaking into the Capitol building. No, I didn't. I knew you guys were the first ones that broke through all the barriers. which is true. The outer perimeter, the
That is not
second
true.
outer gate, and
You
then
want to
the
go
window
through the
here.
first one? We could do this again.
Sure, you can find the first one if you want.
When
Sure.
we're talking about semantics, you want to talk about the president not saying a single word patriotically and peacefully and not directing people to be. But now here, you're not using semantics, right?
What do you mean I'm not using semantics?
it's-
Was he a Proud Boy involved in breaking through the window for the first
Yes,
people to
he
enter the
was.
building?
Yes,
yeah,
and
that's
I've
my
never
claim.
denied
Correct.
that.
That's good.
Dominic
All right.
doesn't even deny
and
that.
this happened at
So
about.
now
This
let's go
happened
to the
right after
first
2 o'clock.
breach.
This happened before
But
Trump
wait,
was tweeting that you guys should
had
remain
so much
peacefully,
to
right?
say about the first, second, and third breach. Go to the first breach. Was the Proud Boys the first ones to go through the first
Do
breach?
you have video you want to send me? Send it me to it, and we'll just watch it. Just
No,
like that.
he's the one. He's the one that has the burden of proof right now because he's making the claim.
Well, the burden
So
of
I'd
proof
like
was on
him
the
to pull up the
prosecution
window.
that found you guilty and convicted
Go
you of
ahead.
seditious conspiracy, but you know.
Yeah, a bunch of fucking liberal DC liberal DC jury, of course. Again, I hope one day, whenever you face your charges for your sexual assault and all the weird fucking kinky shit that you do.
Oh yeah.
I hope that the people on that jury hate your fucking guts and put you in prison, and I hope you rot there for 22 years.
Well,
and I hope that you change your mind about everything, but I doubt it. And I hope you change your mind about the justice system because you're out here simping for the fucking justice system.
I'm not simping for the justice
And then
system. I think it's a
now
crime that
you
like
have been simping for
actual
the justice
subhuman filth like you guys were
Simping for the
pardoned. You
justice
should be
system is saying,
rotting in
"Oh,
a
well,
jail
you got
under the
Let
fucking
Destiny-
jail.
let
You should be
Destiny- let
rotting under the
Destiny and Dev
jail.
go. Destiny and Dev, please. Destiny and Dev, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, we all know that Newsom's going to pardon you anyway, Destiny, so it's fine.
Peru base, my king.
Okay,
That'll
so
be
Dev, you showed us that video. What else are your thoughts here? And then I want to.
Well, here I think Dev can take this response. But one guy was asking why were people at the White House or why were people at the Capitol, and he said there were multi-factors. They were there because Trump called them there.
They were there because they believe that 2020 was stolen from them, even though it wasn't.
Yep.
Even though Biden actually did win 2020.
Because Trump spread the lie. Yeah.
No, quite a few people, and I can name a myriad of them. Christina Kelso, Scott Fairland, many of them were there because they were angry about losing their businesses. And yeah, I mean, the election plays into that because they thought the lockdowns would continue more. But these are people who lived under blue states, and they were just there to have their voices heard. They went there with signs about COVID, mask mandates, vaccines. Not everybody there was a Trump supporter either, by the way. You know, you got to remember that when you have a large amount of people like that, you're going to get a cross-section of American society. So it's not true.
Well, sure, but I mean, nobody really cares about the guy who went there to protest and just kind of stayed outside, didn't get any trouble, went home. No one cares about them. People care about the ones who are riding.
I mean, you should when they get prosecuted too.
They did.
Yeah, they did though. That's the
they
problem.
Didn't. They didn't. There was
Oh,
100
okay.
Well, so wait, so very
public.
hold on, wait, back up before we get into this naming off every individual because every single time these guys get looked up, all of them were doing some fuck shit. But I understand the DC jury; it's all horrible, politically partisan prosecutions. Why do you really think that if Trump? I don't know. I'm asking this because there's no good faith engagement here. If Trump hadn't called people there on J6, it would have been a few hundred people tops.
Bullshit. Vice did a whole they did a video walkthrough of the audience. They found 6 distinct different groups.
I'm also going to give December and November as an example. Trump didn't tell anybody in November, December to show up to DC, and we showed up in the thousands. As a matter of fact, I'd say that the November rally from November 14th was a lot. There was a lot more people attending that rally than they did
What
on
was the name of
January.
the rally? Just so I can just fact check real quick.
The Million MAGA March. I could be off. But regardless of the fact, it doesn't change the fact that the president did not tell anybody to show up in November, and they still showed up in mass. I remember, actually with Bobby that's sitting right next to me, I remember sitting on Capitol Hill and looking down Constitution Avenue and seeing people shoulder to shoulder all the way to the White House.
Well, yeah,
That brings up my point earlier. My point earlier was that so many people.
So, I know what you're talking about because Trump didn't even understand what was going on with the false elector plan until early December. I get it, but all throughout November, you had Ken Cheesebro talking about this. You had the First Amendment Praetorians who were talking about this. You had there was this slow boil online of riling people up to get them to believe that there was something that could be done about this. That Trump could have these 7 slates of frankly false electors to come in and then save the day in the last minute. And this was it was built up online. It was built up in certain channels in certain spheres in DC. It eventually got to Trump's desk in early December, and that's when he started pushing it personally. But it still came from a location, and it came from the right wing.
So let me ask you
Them
something.
just actually
That's
being
not
upset
true.
about the election.
Let me ask you something about Pence then. So you're saying that they lied to them and they couldn't. Let's say, so then why is Pence considered a hero from the left if he decided to certify the election results? What if Pence decided to go with Trump's plan? Would that make a difference?
Then he wouldn't be consider him a hero.
He'd be a traitor,
of course.
But wouldn't. But then there is a chance of something happening, right? There is a chance of going ahead and not certifying the election.
Yeah,
correct?
If the insurrection was successful,
so having that hope, having that hope that Mike Pence would do something, would motivate people to try to protest.
Yeah, correct. To try to go and you're describing an insurrection. They would hope that their pressure there would force people like Pence through intimidation, and it's not legal. It would be illegal. It's not. It's not legal.
Where's the language inciting?
It's not legal.
That's a very specific.
I need to fix this right here.
I understand, but let Destiny finish, then you can fix it, and then I want to hear from Greg.
Yeah, what you're talking about is an insurrection. Them unilaterally overthrowing 7 states worth of votes to pick their own electors would be depriving the American people of their right to vote.
But you're not. But you didn't argue with me when I asked if Mike Pence can do that, and that is a legal solution.
Legally. No, he cannot legally do it.
Legally cannot. He legally cannot.
So he couldn't not certify the election or refuse to certify the election.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Legally, yes.
Okay. Well, then if you just
well, just to be clear, do you grant them that, Enrique, that not in a legal way, in no legal manner, could Mike Pence certify or not refuse to certify?
Yes. Listen, I give him that. Okay. But what I'm saying, my argument isn't that. My argument is that people thought, we're getting in the minds of these people, that people thought that Mike Pence was able to not certify the election.
Because Trump told them.
Maybe Tim has more insight if that's able, or maybe he
because Trump told them that.
There.
Yes, they think that because Trump told them that. That's the whole point. This is why it's Trump's fault. Yes.
Listen, I believe that the president also thought that the election was stolen.
I don't care. He can live in his delusion. That's fine, but you're just giving an excuse then for why he was calling all those people there to insurrect the government. Because if you think the election is stolen,
he wasn't calling anybody to insurrect the government. And let me tell you the schedule for that.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't even supposed to speak. He didn't decide to speak until I think January 1st or the 31st. He decided a whole 10 or 11 days after that the rally was scheduled to be on there. And everybody thought, including my guys, thought that the president was going to speak at the Capitol, in front of the Capitol. Even the president says it, right? My guys were at the Washington Monument, which was the back of the ellipse. They couldn't see anything. They were pissed off that they got there late, that they woke up late because they got fucking sloshed the night before, and they wanted to get good seats. So that is why they moved to the Capitol so early, because they thought that he was going to go to the Capitol at that moment.
Hold on, so I actually have a question for you, because now I'm really interested. So you just said that Donald Trump believed he was genuinely stolen from, right?
Correct.
Okay. And despite this, he still wasn't calling for an insurrection?
Not restraint from
he didn't. Can you tell me when he called for an insurrection?
Well, no. You just said that he wasn't calling for an insurrection, right? Like you just said that.
He was not calling for an insurrection. That's correct.
Even though he believed he was stolen from, is he a cuck? Like what the fuck? If he was stolen from, he should be calling.
He was pursuing. He
was pursuing, as he said, peacefully and patriotically, fucking protesting the election.
He said to fight like hell, or you're going to lose your country. He said fight like hell, or you're going to lose your country. That's what he said.
Hold on, please. There will be order in this court. There will be order in this court. I want to give it to Grid, and then I want to give it to Gibbs. That's the order we're going.
This is something that's really annoying. You guys keep acting like that things we know today to be more or less factual actually supports that there was massive irregularities with the election. All Trump was saying is, hey, there are massive irregularities with this election, and we should check this shit out.
They did check it out, and all of it got struck down. That's why Barr left. That's why Barr left. Then stop lying.
Shut up.
Then don't
lie.
I don't care. Stop lying.
I don't care. I'm going to finish.
Okay.
You can keep talking.
Doesn't
Stop
like
lying.
this point.
But
because it's
I
a
don't
lie.
care
Yeah,
what you like. The point is that we are looking at this, or you are looking at this through what you think you know today. Which, by the way, we're finding out every single day that those irregularities may have happened, or they're more credible. And the reality is that your rhetoric is breaking down. The rhetoric that you've been spewing for 4 years of there was no election fraud and it was Trump was trying to seize control. All that's breaking down because the reality is had they just given Trump what was he asking for, a week or 10 days to go through some of the irregularities? The fact that nobody was willing to do that and now they conveniently forget that that's what he was asking for is stupid. You guys can't be more stupid
So I've heard everything you have to say. Right, do you know the process of actually doing that, though? Of actually having this investigated? You know what the real process is? Because it did happen in 1876. You know this, right? That there was an electoral commission that was put forward, and in fact the certification of the vote was delayed for 2 months. So all Congress had to do was to do the same thing they did in 1876. And the reason Congress didn't do that is because the riot fucking interrupted it. Like that's one big reason why the process didn't happen the way it should.
No, that's bullshit, and you know it.
No, that's complete.
That is bullshit, Dev, and you know it.
They would have done it.
I think it's hilarious. I think it's
answer the question. Let Dev answer the question, or respond to the accusation.
If there was enough proof to convince the congressmen and the senators to actually have an electoral commission to investigate this, then they would have done so. There was no fucking proof. There's still no fucking proof. You're saying that new proof is coming out every day. Yeah, you're saying it's coming out every day. Are you talking about like the 350,000 votes from Georgia that went viral like last week?
315.
Well, I didn't mention that. Yeah. I mentioned the Minnesota stuff that's happened with the duplicate voters we know are on the rolls. And we could go into other stuff like in Nevada that's come out recently. There's all sorts of different examples. There's stuff in Texas. There's lots of examples.
It doesn't matter what example I give you. You're going to try and hand wave it off, Dev.
I want to point out what Devin just said.
Okay, here, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Specific. Let's just use it specific.
It's really impressive. It's really impressive.
Hold on. Stop. Destiny, then Gibbs.
Okay, here. Well, let's just work one specific example. Okay. So one thing that Trump said, we can go through every single one of these if we want. He said, then election officials pull boxes, Democrats, and suitcases of ballots out from under a table. He's talking about in Fulton County. We know that claim was a lie, and we knew that claim was a lie on day one. It was debunked. If you watch the video, they were put underneath the table when they were going to stop counting. Then they pull those same boxes out from underneath afterwards. That was a lie. They knew it was a lie on day one, and Trump repeated it at the Ellipse speech on January 6th.
Well, before we started arguing about what evidence we're going to accept here, I want to point out this game that they're doing real quick. It's really impressive how on the left over here they do this ticky-tack, baby-back bullshit with words. Go, oh, he didn't say peacefully, patriotically, or whatever at the exact right time. But then they go, oh, he was implying an insurrection. Well, can you point to me where the word insurrection comes from? But then when you say that, they want to dismiss it, wave a hand, go, well, you know what he thinks. And it's just like there's no winning here. It's an all-lose scenario with them. They're just going to play dishonest. And it's really all propaganda because they don't really want to talk about the real insurrection, which is the stolen election via the fraud. That's really what's happening. And we're seeing it everywhere. And you just go, oh, it didn't happen.
Just prove it.
We are proving it. That's why they're opening tons of investigations and finding new shit all the time. Fox News today said there's 250 to 500 billion dollars worth of fraud, $1 billion worth of fraud going away every year right now, estimated. And then we're seeing, oh, it's funding candidates. Oh, we're seeing, oh, it's in these states where we have tons of illegals and no voter ID. Wow, just a total coincidence that's happening.
What Dev said, actually, I just want to say is actually an important observation. We wanted the debates to happen in Congress. So the fact that the riot happened and it canceled that
Congress was not the appropriate forum for that debate to happen,
want the actual answer? Because the answer is not that we went there to interrupt the process.
Of course you did.
To happen. That makes absolutely no sense.
It makes perfect sense. It doesn't make any sense that you think, how is Congress the appropriate forum when they're certifying the vote for a debate to happen about the electoral procedures?
It doesn't matter if you agree with it. That was the argument at the time. We're going to go there and support our brave congressmen and representatives. That was the point of being.
To decertify the vote, to not accept the result of the election.
Hey, no, actually,
yeah, it was.
You don't even know what happened.
I do know what happened. I've read all the fucking documents. You're just lying about everything. The whole point of the certification process. The whole point. I'm sorry. How many people in here were convicted of what crimes? Give me a fucking break, okay?
Let him go. Let him go.
I'm trying to say, because I actually am a witness, and I can tell you my experience there. I actually went there, and my cell phone footage proves this. I didn't know there was any restricted area, and I'm not trying to put that on Proud Boys or Ryan Samsol or Ray Epps specifically. But I walked into an area thinking that I was just there for a First Amendment demonstration. When the cops attacked us, it incensed us, and that was that.
Cops attacked you where? At what part?
On the Western Terrace.
When a cop, if a cop attacks you and you're on the Capitol grounds, your first thought is, "Wow, I'm getting attacked for no reason." Not maybe I'm not supposed to be here.
Because I was present. Because I was present.
Yeah, because he thinks he's at a peaceful protest.
Peaceful
which you, by the way,
protest doesn't give you the right to trespass.
I bet
peaceful protest doesn't give you the right to trespass. Peaceful protest doesn't give you the right to trespass. Peaceful protest doesn't give you. Peaceful protest doesn't give you the right to trespass.
You didn't know it was trespassing because you're not understanding the context of people pouring into an area, not knowing to restrict an area.
Well, no, this part is irrelevant. We're not even. No one is even arguing this. I'm sure there are some people that probably trespassed that weren't aware that they were trespassing. None of us are arguing that though. The specific point. Wow. Well, it sounds like Donald Trump maybe should have clarified before he sent all of them over to the Capitol to try to disrupt the counting of the vote. Maybe.
People tore barriers down before his speech.
So where did President Trump?
They did. They're called Proud Boys. I know. That was my earlier claim. Thank you. Yes. Hello.
So
we know. So
where did President
we know that.
So it's funny to me that he says that the cops weren't inciting it. We had a professional witness on the stand, a use of force witness on the stand that specifically covers riot control. And when we asked these pepper balls and these rubber bullets, where are they, if there's a crowd, where are they shot into? And they're usually shot into the front of the crowd. They tell them not to shoot into the back of the crowd because the opposite effect can happen. If you look at the video from the cops that were overlooking from an eagle's nest position, they weren't shooting at the front of the crowd, they were shooting at the back of the crowd. And one of those people that got shot, his name is Joshua Black. Also, a couple of Proud Boys that were far back, about 100 feet back, were getting peppered with pepper balls. And I know that that aggravated the crowd. So I'll take the word of a use of force professional before I take the word of a podcaster that's read shit on the internet. He just said that. Read shit on the internet and is a self-proclaimed professional in things that have
to do with. And then to be clear, just so I understand, this was an expert witness that was brought on for the side that lost the court case, right?
That witness actually was both of the witnesses for the government and for myself, both of them are use of force and both of them answered exactly the same way. So you could try that with somebody else, not here. You could take that shit somewhere else.
The case was lost.
There's also plenty of video, though. The man he's talking about, Joshua Black, was shot through the face with plastic rounds and was bleeding all over the West Terrace. People who weren't aware of what was going on were incensed by that, and there's plenty of testimony from defendants. I mean, you can disregard defendants because you think they're guilty, but there's plenty of actual.
I only think the ones are guilty are the ones that were convicted. You know,
You know where I find cowardice in Destiny. He's saying what he wants to say, but he's still there. He's still got that fear. Just say what you want to say. You want your political opponents to be in prison. Look, if we're playing this game,
that are trying to circumvent the lawful outcome of the election in prison. Yes, and especially people that are planning to do it. Yes, which is why you guys were there. You went there to protest the certification of the vote.
Run over
you said
an
it
ICE
yourself.
agent. You want them to go free.
She didn't try to run over the ICE agent. She was trying to drive away. It's pretty obvious.
If you want to say what you truly want to say, look, I'm going to be you for a second.
I can just say what I want to say. I don't know why you think I won't just say.
Celebrate the death, like you celebrated the death of Ashley Babbitt. Celebrate the death of one of ours. We celebrate the death of one of yours, and let's stop playing this game where we pretend that we don't have a bias here, because you do have a bias. You want to see us in prison.
My bias is I do. People that are guilty of things, I like to see people that are guilty of things in prison. That's true. Yes, that is correct.
I want my political
No, you're projecting your delusion onto me. You don't have to do that. You can just be your own disgusting piece of shit. You don't have to project it onto me. That's okay, bro. That's okay, bro.
To actually say what you feel.
It's okay, bro.
Let it out. Let it out. Tell people how you really feel.
I already said how I really feel. You guys should be rotting underneath the prison. Yeah, what's up?
Well, we're not. And you know what? It makes you angry that we're not.
It does. I am. Yeah, I'm honest about that, of course.
Destiny, stop. I'm about to give you the mic, Destiny. Destiny, I want to know specifically what you and Dev's strongest argument is that this is an insurrection, and then they can deal with that. What is your strongest piece of evidence that this was an insurrection on January 6th? Go ahead.
Well, me and Dev will put forth our own thing, I think.
Yes,
I think that
exactly, and then we'll
sure.
I would say probably the. Are you going to say the false electors, or are you going to say Trump's behavior during the insurrection, Dev? Which one do you want to go with, or do you have a totally different thing in your head?
I'll go with false electors.
Okay, I would say that Trump's behavior. You're an actual Trump cum guzzling sheep. I don't know why you would ever tell me to think for myself, sir. I think that the strongest piece of evidence is how Trump acted during the insurrection itself. So, for instance, when there were multiple family members, when there were multiple members of government that were begging him to call off the rioters, and Donald Trump was making phone calls to congressmen telling them that, well, maybe you should consider flipping your vote or changing your vote. He had even the call with McCarthy, where he was saying, well, maybe they're mad for a good reason. And Giuliani was also making similar phone calls. I think that was very evident that the things were going as he wanted them to, that he was happy to see the insurrection carry on, and rather than actually calling down the National Guard to go there immediately and to stop it, he was happy to watch it continue on because he was hoping eventually he would delay the certification of the vote or flip it to himself. I think that's one of my strongest pieces.
Okay, Dev, go ahead with yours, and then we'll get the response from all of them. Go ahead, Dev.
I mean, we've already talked about these 7 slates of false electors before in this conversation. You guys think that basically Trump was stolen from, and so this was part of the actual procedure. Basically, it was based on the 1960 election because there were dueling electors in 1960. The difference is that in 1960, the state of Hawaii actually signed off on the alternate slate of electors. That didn't happen here. We have the false elector papers. They're publicly available to see. You can see that no state government actually signed off on any of those electors. At the same time, I have now at this point read 64 full court cases on what happened during the 2020 election, all the audits, all the recounts, all the investigations. No fucking evidence has ever been produced. And additionally, everyone says, oh, it's standing. Standing's the reason why those court cases didn't go anywhere. Well, guess what? If you actually read the court cases, you'd realize that pretty much in every single one, the judges actually said, hey, even though there's no standing for this, we are going to do like an impromptu kind of look at the merits anyway, because we understand that this is actually really important, that everyone really cares about this. And so you can actually read the court documents and realize there's fucking nothing. There's no evidence of anything. In all of these cases, Trump just lost them on standing, on merits, on everything, because there is no fucking evidence. And I know everyone's talking about, oh, there's new evidence coming out right now, all this. No, it's all bullshit. Like in Georgia, the 315,000 extra like improper votes. What that was you had like a poll worker who failed to sign out at the end of his shift. And so it turns out that the ballots that he was involved with were were not signed off on properly, but they're still all completely legitimate ballots. And then guess what? Once that state was recounted, those were all recounted properly and recertified, and they were all signed off on. So like even these little moments where you have like technical snafus that don't actually disqualify any votes or show any fraud, none of it ever pans out to anything. It's all bullshit.
There's no chain of authority,
you guys
which
can
means
respond to that. Go ahead, Stream Rift, and I want to hear from the rest of you. Go ahead.
there's no chain of authority, which means they didn't follow their own state laws, and so that calls into question whether they were legitimate or not. And it's 2 signatures. The other thing is an insurrection. The definition I looked up: a violent uprising against an authority or government. It was an appeal to government. It was saying you're doing something that we'd like you to do differently. It was explicitly not saying we have another plan, let's have a new government. So definitionally, as an insurrection, nobody was trying to overthrow the government. They were trying to get Congress to elect. Even if you say, oh, well, Mike Pence couldn't fail to certify the election. Okay, fine. That's an appeal to government, not an overthrow of it.
Definitionally, it is an overthrow of the government. He lost, and they wanted to.
You're out of your fucking mind.
You wanted to keep him in office.
Overthrowing the government
Because the new government was supposed to be Biden, and you wanted to overthrow the count to keep Trump entrenched in power.
Stay here, Destiny. Stay here. How is saying, dear government, you did something wrong, I'd like you to do it different, an overthrow of that government?
Because when you're saying the thing you did wrong was you kept in a guy in power that I don't want, or you have voted a new guy in power that I don't want you to have in power, you're insurrecting against the government.
That's not what they were saying. They're saying we don't think it were valid results.
Go ahead.
So they're saying government, you did the election, you counted.
Realize, so you do realize that Trump went to Pence and said, hey, listen, don't send these 7 electors back to the states. Just install me as the next president. Trump said that to Pence.
So what part of the insurrection is them overthrowing the government? The audience.
It's the part when the certification of the vote was literally delayed because of violent people breaking into it. Definitionally is. I've read so much more about this than all of you fucking retards combined. Okay, but it definitionally is. They broke into the Capitol, and for the first time in the history of the United States government, the certification of the vote was delayed. It happened because of violence at the Capitol, and
By
it was the
8
goal of
hours.
President
And
Trump.
the first time in history we had massive mail-in voting, which is the most fraudulent
We didn't have
form
any
of
fraud.
voting.
We did, but then, and you found no fraud. How sad is that? Just like
Was
Doge,
massive.
nothing.
Hold on. Later, years
No,
later,
no.
how are we supposed to know this months
Okay, hold on
after
a
the
second, hold on a
election?
second.
Destiny.
I got a question for all of you. I have a question for all of you, okay? Let's say it's 2016, okay? And Trump wins 2016 fair and square because he obviously did. And now let's say Joe Biden, presiding over the counting of the vote, says, you know what? I'm just going to start tossing out electors and we're going to install Hillary Clinton as president. Would you guys have stood for that?
What does that have to do with whether it was an insurrection?
Would you have stood for it? Yes
Why
or no?
are you moving the goalpost?
That has nothing
on.
to do with
Yes or
the thing
no?
I just said.
No,
we're not playing your game.
Hold on, just
That has
please.
nothing to
I do
do with
want
the
people to
question
answer
I
this
just
question.
asked.
Yes or no?
No,
Is that
I asked the question first, and it got dodged. How's that fair?
What was the dodge?
Yeah, what was your question?
A
What was your
dodge that yeah, because he was like, oh, it was the first time in whatever that it was delayed for 3 hours. And I'm like, dude, this is the first time in I don't know ever
So
that
what's the
they was this
question?
volume. I'm asking how are you going to say that this was like ginned up solely by Trump when there were so many other factors absent
Because
Trump
every
that
single
got people
thing-
mad
because-
enough to show up that
Yeah,
day.
they all came from Trump. Every single piece of voter fraud that was brought
No,
to him
bullshit.
was debunked by Barr. Why
Bullshit.
did Barr quit? Why did Barr quit before the certification?
I'm talking about they didn't have that much time between
plenty of
the
time.
decision of there was only months. There was only months.
That's a lot of time to find any voter fraud at all. To find
it's-
one piece of voter fraud. There's plenty of time. Yeah.
No, was the voter fraud like the mail-in voting investigated?
Before you ask more questions, hold on. Before you ask more questions, Dev did ask you a question.
I asked
Your
everyone
question
here a
just got
question,
answered.
yeah.
I'm still
Can you answer his? In 2016, if Joe Biden had decided to get rid of the electors and install Hillary Clinton as president, would you have stood for that?
I would have gone to go protest at the Ellipse.
Like you guys protested last time inside the building.
See, Enrique answered it. What about the rest
With a
of
fun
you?
protest.
I mean, I'll answer it. I didn't know it was specifically to the whole panel, but sure.
Yeah,
I'll
everyone,
answer it.
go ahead.
Okay, so you're saying had Biden installed Hillary Clinton just because, or are we talking about
let's
we
say
think that
a
there's
whole
massive
bunch of-
election fraud, or what? What do
A whole
we?
bunch of Democratic officials cooked up a whole bunch of alternate electors and said, "Hey, Biden, use these."
You mean like a
Yes,
Steele
sir.
dossier to try and smear Trump of Russian
That's-
collusion and all that?
Were there any
Exactly.
false electors in that dossier?
I mean, there wasn't, but I mean,
there wasn't. No, there wasn't,
I'm
yeah.
shocked she missed the trick.
That's not.
Wait, real
that's
quick.
not
Hold
election
on. Wait,
interference.
that was
Yeah.
that was a really good point. That Steele dossier. How many fake electors were cooked up as a result of that? Can I hear an answer from the panel for that? How many?
Give me one
Well,
minute.
wait. You're asking the wrong question. Is that election interference?
Didn't the Steele dossier, wasn't it published after the election happened?
I'm just asking you a question.
Well, if it was after the election happened, then definitionally the answer would be no. If time only goes in one direction.
So Russiagate was before all of that. Before
No, so
the
Russiagate was
2016
after the election. That's why it's such a stupid fucking conspiracy theory. Because the person that hurt Hillary the most was probably Comey. Yes,
it wasn't.
yes.
It wasn't. There was a PR campaign in 2016. I remember because I was there. I was into the 2016 campaign. So don't tell me that there was no Russia before 2016. That's election interference. That's exactly what it is. That the report
2016
came
is
out
a
after
whole
that, that's
year.
fine.
The election after the election was when the Steele dossier was leaked. Well, BuzzFeed published it, but it was after the election, so
The
it's kind
report
of
was
the worst.
published.
It's kind of the worst thing
Propaganda was
ever.
started in
Doesn't really.
2016.
Yeah, you keep saying that whole year. 2016 is a long. There's like 12 months, 365 days.
Yeah,
4
and the
days,
election was
whatever
at
it
the end of the year.
And the Steele dossier was published afterwards.
Count.
Yeah.
Arithmetic, dude.
Well, we talk about stolen election. I can give you an example right here. We have, what's her name? We have the executive director for Wisconsin's election commission, Claire Whittle-Vaugh. She was convicted of voter fraud in 2024
Oh,
in May, right?
just a real
and we
quick-
just got an email
Yep.
that was released.
I have a fact
that
check
says
for the Steele dossier. It was published on Mother Jones on October 31st, 2016, so it was just before the U.S. presidential.
Okay, just before the election.
Okay, so we have an email just today from this person who's been convicted of voter fraud, saying, quote, Xerox 64,000 ballots in the back of the conference room in Milwaukee City Hall, rooms 501 at 3 a.m. Guess what? They won a percentage by in Wisconsin, 0.63%, and that's how much Biden won by. So it looks like, yeah, we are starting to find examples of the election being stolen, like this example. Like, I mean, so when you're saying there's no evidence, there's evidence coming out every day. The Election Commission Executive Director Claire Woodall-Vog.
Right.
So yeah.
So we're still waiting. So how was the election stolen based on the stolen
She was convicted before this email was.
How was the election stolen in 2016, 2017? You said Russia. How was that used to steal the election? You guys brought that up as an example of trying to steal an election.
No, I said that's election interference. That's attempting. And attempting is conspiracy in its own nature, so it should be prosecuted. And
who attempted it? Who was the person attempting?
22 years.
So many mainstream media companies had this dossier, and it was Mother Jones that eventually published. Was it Mother Jones or was it? I thought BuzzFeed was the first one that published it
on October 31st, 2016, just before.
Are you sure it wasn't? I'm almost positive it was BuzzFeed.
On publicly.
Wait. I mean, reported on is different than published in its entirety. My understanding is that BuzzFeed published it. Oh, you mixed it up for reported on. No. Okay. BuzzFeed published it on January 10th, 2017. Okay, thank you. So I was correct. Thank you. Jesus.
Okay, I got to make a little money, so let me read some of these super chats, and then we'll get back to the show. $10 from Artemis Fowl to say, didn't the ellipse speech have specifically peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard in it? I see several video and an NPR article saying it happened. Weird. Thank you for the $10.
Yes. Artemis, start showing up to these again.
Zero Fox for 10-month membership. Thank you, buddy. Peacefully and patriotically hit like and subscribe. True. $5 from Mr. Wise Guy Plays. When Trump sees violence, he said stop being violent and be peaceful. Destiny says that's just nonsense. Good one.
Stop being violent? Wait, he tweeted that? Was that a tweet that he said?
Remain calm, remain peaceful.
Paraphrasing.
Paraphrasing? Oh, because when somebody says remain peaceful, that makes it sound like there's no violence happening. That's what I would assume. But, okay.
Well, Trump did tweet this. He says, I know your pain.
Quantum Fantasy member for 15 months. Wow. Gibbs being so well behaved up there in the corner. Well, we'll see. The soy pill for $5. And this is to Enrique. What did do what must be done, end quote, mean, Enrique?
Are we answering it now, or are you going through the super chat?
Now, please.
Okay. I was excited. I was excited about what was going on at the Capitol. I was watching it on TV, and I said, do what must be done.
So
I was celebrating. I was celebrating the shit out of what happened that day. Yes, super fucking guilty of it.
Yeah, but what did you want to be done?
I wanted them to keep going.
Okay.
Keep going how?
I wanted them to stay there. I wanted them to protest. I wanted them to stay there. Yes.
Inside the Capitol
I
building?
didn't want them to leave.
Yeah.
Inside the Capitol building. Yeah. I wanted to occupy the Capitol building.
Yeah.
Yes.
We know. It was in the indictment.
And do what?
Just real quick, $5
to disrupt, to insurrect. That's what that means. That's definitionally an insurrection.
No.
Definitionally is. You're using threat and intimidation in order to disrupt a lawful government process. Yeah, it's definitionally an insurrection. Jesus.
Let me get through this. Okay, we got more. I promise. We'll get there. We'll get there. I promise. Mr. Wise Guy Plays for $5 says Destiny doesn't care about things. That's not framed in his anti-Trump worldview. Change my mind. $5 from Audacity. This is fun. It's like when Dad used to put on Boomer Radio and they would play greatest hits. Makes my basement reno easier to do. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thank you for $5. $20 from Josiah from Pondering Politics. If January 6th was mostly peaceful because only a small number of attendees engaged in violence, each of these fine MAGA fellas would agree every individual BLM riot, not protest, was likewise definitionally mostly peaceful. Do you guys agree with that?
Wait, I didn't.
Sure.
I didn't get that.
The vast majority of the BLM protests and even the riots themselves would be peaceful if by that definition, because every riot only has like 1 to 5% of people actually rioting. There's no riot where every single person is breaking
agree,
shit.
all of the BLM protests, all of the J6 protests, everybody gets a pardon if you weren't violent. We all agree on that, right, Destiny?
No, we have more crimes in this
Same
country beyond
policy on
violent
both groups?
crimes. What a stupid point.
No.
There are plenty of crimes you can commit that don't involve
okay,
violence.
so we don't agree that nonviolent protest is equally pardonable. That's fine.
Nonviolent protest? I'm talking about occupying a Capitol building with the goal of insurrecting
I
the
literally
government.
just fucking asked you.
That's the
You asked me about you asked me everybody who is nonviolent.
nonviolent.
Occupying definitionally is
You're
not
aware of
nonviolent.
sit-ins, right, Destiny?
Yeah, you're aware that you can get arrested. It's called civil disobedience.
Trump supporters in prison. Just fucking admit it.
Yeah, at this
That's it.
point, hell yeah, I do. Hell yeah, 100%. Absolutely, 100% at this point.
I respect you for that.
Thank you, and I respect you more if you admitted that you guys were attempting an insurrection. You failed, and that's why the opinion changed afterwards.
I would respect you if you could consider any other alternative.
I want you to suffer. I want you to suffer like my family suffered. I want you to pay like my family paid. I want you to do exactly what we did. If I could right now, how I feel and the shit that I went through, not before. I didn't feel like this before. I would have heads on pikes at this moment.
We know one of you guys were screaming it at the fucking J6 march. Yeah.
Please, Enrique. Whose heads would you like to see on pikes specifically?
The people who did
liberals.
this, the people who did this deserve that.
The imagined enemies, yes.
Wait, who did what?
Was schizophrenia a prerequirement to joining the Proud Boys, or did you guys find a way to induce it in all your members?
Answer the question.
I believe that the prosecutors in this case, I believe all the aides that helped fucking the suffering of 1,600 people and their families, I think that they should be investigated. I believe that they should be investigated for treason, and I believe that they should get the proper punishment for what treason is. That's what I believe that they should do, because they're nothing less than treasonous pigs, and that's all they deserve.
Oh. If I may, Tim,
I would not like to see Destiny endure what we endured. I would just wish he would change his mind about his political opposition. I wouldn't want you to have to.
Tim is a better person than I am.
No, I know the consequences of weaponized government, and I don't want to see it. I'm not a Republican, you know. I was a labor leader. I'm not far right. I'm
center left or far left. Yeah.
Labor. I'm not in favor of it. I don't believe in returning evil for evil, even though I got pissed off that day. I'm sorry I interrupted, but disavow all pikes, all heads.
Okay.
Disavow.
$5 from Adashura to say, for the traitors of America, what was peaceful about chanting "Hang Mike Pence"? Also, if you think that didn't happen, why didn't Mike run again?
Was that as a serious threat as people supposedly wiping feces on the wall, which didn't happen? There's a couple clips you can find of people chanting stuff, but I mean, where was the rope? That was never going to happen. You had people
disavow. That was the thing stopping them. They didn't have the rope.
Obligatory disavow.
Disavow. You shouldn't do this. Good. No hanging of anyone.
Good one.
Unless a proper trial, Enrique was talking about.
I find it interesting that Destiny and this is from Mr. Wise Guy Plays, another $5. I find it interesting that Destiny in the beginning said that Trump never said anything about people needing to be peaceful. Completely walk that back.
Nope. I said there wasn't an explicit call for people to go walk peacefully. He did say they needed to fight like hell or they were going to lose the country, right? And it was near the end of the speech.
They didn't have the rope. He didn't say.
They did have a rope. Like we literally saw the picture of the gallows built the morning of. Like that actually was there, but you know, I know we're not in the fact-based world
a gallows for midgets. You couldn't even hang. You couldn't even hang a fucking midget on those.
It's not our fault. You guys are too retarded to build an actual fucking gallows. I can't help with that. Jesus.
Stop bullshitting. Look at this.
You're gonna hang him with this? They need a better
guys. Look at that. You're playing Destiny, you're playing the violins here. Look at the size of that thing.
Okay.
Be realistic.
Pondering politics. Just real quick. $10 from Pondering Politics. Trump had weeks and months before the election to challenge the alleged election changes this dude is complaining about, in addition to the time after the election. Thank you for the $10. 5 Canadian dollars from Ace Chrome Cheetah to say, so you're just admitting Trump is planting and fabricating evidence in his second term to prove voting fraud occurred in 2020. £5 from Riz What the Fuck to say, I'm not sure insurrection quite covered how disgusting and unpatriotic it was for these people to attempt to overturn the result of an election. $10 more from Mr.
He shouldn't say anything from a country he's from. He'd probably go to prison for fucking saying some stupid ass shit. That's probably insurrection in fucking.
You know what? Anyone who wants to give me money to say things is okay in my book.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Okay. $10 from Mr. Wise Guy plays to say, will you guys ever bring up the BBC News completely fabricating and editing parts of Trump's January 6th speech to make it sound like he was telling his supporters to fight down at the Capitol? I want to hear Dev and Destiny address this one, please.
They used it on my trial. Let's start with that. They used it at my trial. They used a BBC clip at my trial. So go ahead.
That edited BBC
no, they
clip?
didn't, because the edit happened in 2025.
Yeah.
Their trial was what, 2022?
Well, they're on that time travel shit, bro. Come on, you should know this by now. They were with the Russia stuff.
No. Listen. Not
the reality is they didn't completely fabricate anything, but they spliced together something from the beginning and the end of his speech. But they shouldn't have done. It was stupid.
They spliced it together.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done. It was a bad edit. But like using it now to go back 5 years and claim something is fucking stupid.
Well, notice how, because I'm not a partisan fuck, I can say that's bad. You shouldn't have done that, right? But you can't concede a single fucking thing, despite the fact that all the evidence. You guys can't even answer. What were people there for? What were people at the White House for? Donald Trump had been calling them there. Donald Trump had been calling them there.
How many
yes,
times
Donald Trump had been calling them there for almost a month. Donald Trump had been calling them there for almost a month to protest the certification of the vote. They were called there for Donald Trump called them almost a month earlier to protest the certification of the vote. That's what they were there for, because they didn't like the outcome of the election.
Well, hold on. If you're not partisan, can you admit that if they actually,
you just said it.
Well, hold on. If he's not partisan, can you admit that if they actually subverted the election with voter fraud and there's other stuff that the Trump administration is alleging, then that would be equally as bad, if not worse, than the insurrection that y'all are alleging.
I'm literally an American whose country was born from rebellion. Yeah, if the election was actually stolen, I think you have plenty of reason to insurrect or rebel, of course. Which is why it was all the more disgusting that Donald Trump lied to you guys, and then you guys continue to propagate the same fucking lies over and over and over again. Every single lie that Trump told the day of the ellipse speech, Barr and other members of his government had already debunked to him. That's the issue. Just like the State Farm ballot box thing.
They didn't need Trump to say anything. They didn't need Trump to say anything to believe that the election was stolen.
Donald Trump was the one spreading that lie. He spread it for 6 months before the election even fucking happened.
Absent Trump, there was still a bunch of fucking shit going on.
No, there wasn't, but there really wasn't.
Yes, there was.
No, there really wasn't, though. No, there really wasn't, though.
A lot of people thought there was fraud.
Hold on,
So
did you
Donald
forget
Trump ran in
COVID? Did you forget
DC?
what COVID was like?
Hold on, I want to hear from Grid. Grid, go ahead, please.
Yeah, man. I mean, so Destiny, come on, man. Trump doesn't run NBC or Fox News or any of the other major networks that were carrying the stories of potential election fraud. It's literally so disingenuous of you to say that Trump made this all up and he was the one that was promoting this, when literally every news agency in the country was not only covering it, they were looking for it. And I mean, come on, man, stop
okay, wait,
it.
Can
That's
I just,
bullshit.
Hold on, wait,
Leah,
let me just be clear. Was Fox News knowingly propagating lies about voter fraud on behalf of Trump's campaign? Was that a thing that happened?
I don't know. Can you tell me?
Yeah, they settled the largest.
100%, you're 100% sure that they were propagating lies.
Yes,
That you can
the
prove
Dominion.
that Fox
Yes,
News lied.
the whole Dominion machine voter fraud. That was Fox News propagating things that they knew were lies from Trump's campaigns and campaign surrogates. Yes, they settled the largest defamation settlement of all the corporate history.
That's then okay. Then you just proved yourself wrong because you said that
hold on, please, everyone stop.
$1.2 billion
Please, everyone stop. Everyone stop. Grid. Do you acknowledge that that's true?
I don't know that Fox made that up themselves. I don't know.
Why are you even here if you don't know about the largest election-related defamation case, one of the largest election suits? Then you don't know anything about this. I don't know how
Tucker Carlson getting fired from Fox. I mean, yeah, I remember it, but I don't know that all of that was 100% factual either. Again,
pretty crazy to not know anything about any of that, but okay.
Well,
A lot of shit about.
I don't say I know something unless I fucking know it. I'm not guessing.
So just for everyone's edification,
speaking of
there
that,
was a conviction. There was a not a conviction. I think that's a word.
Finding.
They settled. I think.
Finding.
There was a settlement.
There was a settlement by $2 billion companies.
I think the settlement was for like $700 million.
But that doesn't support your claim
billion,
that
yeah,
Trump did this.
Trump's
your
campaign
claim is
surrogates,
that
people like
Trump
Sidney
put
Powell,
this out there and he
Trump's
was the guy doing
people
it.
in his group were the ones going to Fox News and telling
people
them.
now. Okay, all right.
Yes,
Okay.
the president of the United States himself was not personally driving a car.
Who
He
are the
wasn't
Trump
hopping
people?
on a... people like Sidney Powell, people like Rudy Giuliani, people like Mike Eastman, people like Kenneth Chesbrough.
But this is a double standard. You say if he doesn't say enough of what you want him to say, it's Trump's fault. But then when we're like, well, he didn't actually do it, and you can't give us direct evidence, you're like, oh, but in this case, it's implied. Like you're doing a double standard here, which is like
it's the ultimate in goalpost moves. I mean, those goalposts are on the moon.
What goalpost do you think I've moved? Hold on, just to be clear, what goalpost do you think I've moved? Our original plan was that Donald Trump started spreading lies about the election, which he did.
That it was Trump who was out there saying that the election was rigged.
He did.
He did all of this, and he put it out there.
Yes.
But it wasn't him. It was Fox News. It was CNN. CNN was covering it.
Covering it is not the same as spreading the lie. Fox News spread it. It came from Sidney Powell was Trump's personal
20
lawyer.
million people? No, Fox News does.
Yes, because Sidney Powell went to Fox News on behalf of Trump to spread the lie.
Dev,
yes.
go ahead.
So you guys are asking for examples of when Trump himself did it, right? Okay. Do you guys know what happened at the White House on December 19th, 2020?
He met with Sidney. He met with Sidney Powell, Mike Lindell. No, another attorney. Yes, and that night was when he tweeted, "Be there, be wild."
On the 19th, there was a 1-hour meeting between Trump, Eastman, Pence, around 20 people from Congress, and about a dozen senators, where they planned out what they were going to do on January 6th. Everything was laid out in that meeting on December 19th. And by the way, that's the reason why.
Was that the first time that they made a story about the election interference or potential election fraud? Was that the first time we heard about it?
Not the first time. No,
okay.
no. But it was the big.
It wasn't Fox News. It wasn't CNN. It wasn't the BBC. It wasn't any of these other news agencies who were finding irregularities with the election.
For when Trump
there wasn't all of these news agencies whose job it is to cover the news who were finding the irregularities and Trump pointing to it and going, "Hey, we should look into this."
No, that's not what happened. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened.
Okay, then you live in a very special kind of world.
A factual world. What happened is people from Trump's group, remember the Kraken? I know you guys like the mind wipe and memory hole, all the stupid shit these people said, but it was Trump surrogates that had claimed to find evidence of voter fraud, and they presented these to state legislatures and to city councils and on TV and on Trump's fucking social media, and then the media looked into it. Nobody found anything.
That was months after the story broke in the news, Destiny.
No.
It was literally a month and a half after the first iterations of election fraud. The Kraken wasn't even mentioned. It wasn't mentioned in November right after the election. It was late December when the Kraken was going to be released.
Before the election even happened, man.
Yes.
Okay, here. I have a question for Mr.
I could be wrong about that.
There. What's he doing? Is he walking around a lobby?
He's talking to somebody. He's in a lobby.
I don't know what he's doing, man. But
that's not a green screen. He's in a lobby.
He's actually somewhere. No, give him what you got, Dev. Ask him the question.
Are you back? Yeah, you.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. No, I have a question for you because earlier in the debate, you said something along the lines of that Trump didn't tell you to go there and he didn't tell you to do what you did, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I decided to go look this up. I didn't want to say it without confirming it, because that's not the kind of guy I am, but I decided to go look it up. You do realize that in your trial, the defense you gave was that Trump told you to go there, right?
No, that was on the closing arguments, and it was very clear. If you go ahead and you go through the transcripts of it, we're saying that we were there because of the event at the Ellipse, not because the president told me to stop the certification of the election. Those are two different things.
What your attorney said was Trump told these people that the election was stolen. Trump told them to go there on January 6th, and it was Trump with his speech on January 6th that unleashed this mob on the Capitol. That's what your lawyer said.
Okay, and if you keep reading through the context of that, he's saying that event being there, right, and switching over to and saying, hey, we're going to go to the Capitol, and I'm going to go through and say peacefully and patriotically, made everybody go over there, right? And that's what happened. It was a riot. Look, nobody disagrees. It was a riot. It was a riot that gone bad. But to go and say that it's an insurrection, it's bullshit. Come on, dude. Things go bad, and it went bad, And look, there was a big no. Trump did not.
I get it, man. I get it. Things go bad, but Trump told you.
Trump said on December 19th that there was going to be a rally. I was already at the November one. I was at the December one, and I wasn't going to miss a January.
Can you answer the question real quick though, Dev? Can you ask it again, just directly? Just I want to.
Yeah, because Trump did tell you to go there. You did say that.
Trump put together. So Trump put together. Trump said to be there on January 6th. Yes, I was there. I don't think anybody would disagree.
Cool.
Okay.
He put the event together. He didn't tell me to go.
No voices in your head or anything?
Yes, there's no voices in my head telling me.
Also, to
Trump
be clear,
wasn't in my head
that
me
whole
to go
Kraken
there.
thing, that started in November. Sidney Powell was fired in December by Trump. So
yeah,
that,
just
that
real
whole
quick.
voter bullshit started.
Jediah from Pondering Politics for $10 says, a Wick fact-checked the fella in the upper right-hand corner. Powell publicly talked about releasing the Kraken on November 17th. So there you go.
So if we know that Trump was calling people there at least a month ahead of time, or around a month ahead of time, if we knew that he was telling people that the election had been stolen, that we had to fight like hell or we're going to lose our country, and then he sent a whole bunch of people to the Capitol.
Because that's what people believed at the time, yes.
Because
And
he
I
told
still
them.
believe
Because he
that.
told them, yes. Yes, because he told them, right? So what? And then a riot just happens to break out, I guess, since we're saying who could have possibly foreseen that, right? And then if a riot breaks out, and then a riot breaks out, and then a riot breaks out. Why is it not until after Ashley Babbitt is shot and killed that Donald Trump finally tells people to go home? Why was why would him and Giuliani be making phone calls to congressmen telling them to change their electoral certification votes? Why wouldn't Trump call in the National Guard
immediately? Because they believe it was stolen and that they should. That's called lobbying. It happens every fucking day.
So it was an insurrection.
Yes, you lobby
it was an
somebody
insurrection.
to change
Lobbying
their
somebody.
Vote. Welcome to Congress.
Lobbying somebody to change their vote in the presence of mass violence when it has to do with an official government proceeding is called an insurrection. You're just defining insurrection in other words.
It's like you don't
Why
know
don't
how
you
the fuck
own
this
it?
thing
You
works.
should own
And you're
it.
so
You told me to own it
because you know
but you're the one who's
exactly
a
how it
fucking
works,
pussy. You're such
and
a
you're
fucking
playing the
loser,
fucking
dude.
part.
Just
You're
own
fucking-
it. You thought the
you're an
election
idiot.
was stolen. You guys showed up to
Yes,
intimidate
I think the
congressmen
election was
into
stolen,
changing the
period.
outcome of the election.
The
That's an
election was stolen,
insurrection.
period.
Insurrection.
Period.
It's an
By you
insurrection.
people.
An
By you
insurrection.
people.
It was an
You people
insurrection.
stole
It
the
was an
election. That's
insurrection.
it.
It was
That's
an
what it is.
insurrection.
You promoted the
It was an
Steele dossier. You went
insurrection
ahead
after
and
the
you fucking
election.
went ahead and
Election
you
was already
demonized
over.
Trump supporters for so fucking long.
Okay,
And then
we got
there will be order in
this court. There will be order in
I am
this
happy.
court.
Any of the cases, any of them, you lost every single.
Ask the judge. Ask the judge.
Order in the court. There you go.
$10. Ace Chrome Cheetah. To say kind of ironic, since for Tario, I'm sorry, I know I'm mispronouncing your name. Forgive me. For Tario, they accused Destiny of simping for the Justice Department, since there's evidence that he had been an informant for federal and local law enforcement. Were you an informant for federal and local law enforcement?
Yes, I took down an entire sex trafficking ring in 2013. Yes, I put 30 people in fucking prison because they were a bunch of fucking pedophiles and sex traffickers. And if anybody has a problem with that, then I tell you what they're protecting, right? They're protecting fucking pedophiles and sex traffickers. So yes, I am very proud that I put 30 fucking people in prison and 2 of them are serving life terms. And I do it again. And every time that I find somebody that does some type of sexual assault shit or some sex crimes, like my buddy up there, Destiny, we'll put them in prison. And you know what happens to people like Destiny in prison?
So just curious, then.
Nice.
You know how they say that like 36. So you know how they say like 36 feds. You know how they say. You know how they say like 36. You know they say 36 federal informants. So when they say 36 feds, when they say 36 feds, when they say 36, probably shit that you enjoy, I'm sure. When they say that 36 feds then were at the January 6th insurrection, you would have been counted among those, right? If you would have actually stayed overnight.
I mean, I guess if you want to count me in there, yes.
Yeah,
but I did not inform. I went to trial. I did not inform on anybody on January 6th. You know what I did? I strapped my fucking balls in, and I sat there with my fucking brothers, and I went to trial, and I got offered a sweetheart deal to lie about the president, and I took 22 in the face. And you'd never do that for any of your friends. You fucking throw them under the bus.
You did the Roger Stone meme. You kept your mouth shut. You didn't say shit. That's crazy. So did you just admit that you had stuff that you could have given about Donald Trump or Roger Stone or whoever the fucking freaks you were talking to on that day, and you decided not to because you were gonna get rewarded for it by Donald Trump with a pardon? That's great. Thanks. That's a new thing I can add to my fucking dossier. I read your indictment. I read the filings in court where you got convicted of seditious conspiracy for the first time in how many fucking years in this country? Unbelievable. Yeah, keep hoping
that you get persecuted for your fucking views and you go to prison.
Well, if my views are that I should get to insurrect the government because I'm too fucking retarded to read a voter roll, because I'm too fucking retarded to not fall for fake news on Twitter, sure? I hope I go to prison too. Okay.
In the shower.
Yeah, I'm sure. Is that what you enjoyed in prison? Is that what you like doing all the time?
Found in the shower.
Okay, we gotta take it from 11. We gotta bring it down to like an 8. Okay, just that's all I'm saying.
So just
all right,
quick,
Let me know when you want 11 again.
I want my channel to remain monetized. That's all I'm saying. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, mine too.
What you just said, because you mentioned that.
Speaking of monetized,
So go ahead, Dev. Go ahead, Dev. Please.
You had put away some pedophiles in 2013, which got, good job, by the way. Fair enough. With that being said, why do you still support Trump, considering that he's obviously in the Epstein files?
This is a red herring. What the fuck? Let's get back to the topic. Dev or Destiny, can either of you guys answer, like, out of the thousands of people that showed up that day, can you prove that they were all there because Trump directed them there? Do you have any proof of that?
Because I got a whole lot of proof. A lot of people were talking about the election being stolen and didn't need Trump to tell them shit.
How could we possibly prove that? What kind of proof are you looking for?
Very good.
That's your allegation. Hold on. You made the claim.
Sorry, guys,
it's
I'm
on
back.
you.
I got disconnected.
Well, so if a guy were to say, I want 10 people to come to my house
Don't
tomorrow
ask me
night.
a question. Answer my question.
I'm answering you,
Hold on.
fucking retard. Let me finish speaking,
Let-
okay?
let-
I'm sorry.
no,
If the
that's
sentence
not
is
an
longer than
answer.
7
That's not
words, you can't
fucking
fucking.
answer.
If I
Ask
say,
if you had
if I
proof.
say,
Yeah, proof.
if
It's
I
yes
say
or no.
10
You get
people,
yes or no.
hey, fruitcake, shut the
angry
fuck up and let me finish. If I say 10 people come to my house tomorrow, and 10 people show up at my house, maybe 11 or 12, maybe somebody brings a friend, and you
Oh,
say,
10
can you
dudes to come
prove?
to your house.
Can you better than 10 dudes come into your mouth, you disgusting fuck? Okay, you're telling me that I can't prove. How am I supposed to prove that every single person
You're
that showed
the
up was
only one
there
that sucked
because
dick in
of
here,
shit?
bro.
Maybe on camera.
Let
Okay,
him
chill.
answer that.
All right.
Hold on.
Yeah, let me
Let
ask
him
the fucking
respond to
question.
your
Okay,
question,
let me answer the
and then
question.
you can
Okay,
respond.
let me
Crazy.
let me ask the question. It's not crazy. I know it sucks. Dealing in the world of fact is hard for you, motherfuckers. Okay, how are you possibly supposed to prove that every single person shows up because, like, Donald Trump? He announced the event, and people showed up for the event, and he was a speaker for the event. And then they went there protesting under his name. I think it's safe to say that the vast majority of them, 99%, showed up because of him.
Okay, that's a total
But I
dodge
didn't.
of my
Hold on.
question.
My
That's a total
invitation did
fucking
not
dodge.
say insurrection.
Just real quick.
My invitation said, "Hey, come to a rally."
Just real quick. I want to make sure Kung Fu Joe, did that answer your question? Why or why not?
Fuck no. No, it didn't. That was a total fucking dodge. That's
In that case, Renee Good did the
Oh my
I asked you
God.
very straightforward.
Kung Fu Joe, I'll answer for you.
Right, Destiny?
I'll give you.
Because your people are hyping up this whole
Okay.
ICE thing. So by your own account, Renee Good, it was good that she got shot in the face, that she deserved it, right?
Why would I say
Got
that?
Babbitt.
Because of how you framed everything right now is, well, the president told everybody to go there, but he never pointed at anybody. But now you're demonizing
He literally
ICE, and now the
pointed
same
them
thing
to the
happened on the
Capitol.
other side.
Wait, he literally pointed
because
them
you
to
said
the
the same
Capitol.
thing about Ashley Babbitt. You said the same thing about Ashley
Babbitt was trying to
So
break
you know
into a
what?
secured area
So you know what?
where there were congressmen at the other end of the hallway and a Secret
Renee
Service
Good tried
agent.
to run over an
She
ICE
didn't
agent.
try
and
to
she
run
got
over an
popped
ICE
in the
agent. She
face.
was trying to escape
4
the
times.
scene. It's very obvious.
got
She was
popped in the
trying to.
face 4
She was
times and tried to
very
run over
obvious.
her.
Very
Right?
obvious. She was trying to drive
And
away.
she
It's not
wasn't even
remotely
armed. At least the other
comparable.
one was armed with
Wasn't
a
even
fucking Honda.
remotely
Babbitt was trying to get away
comparable.
from an Antifa member named Zachary Alam. That's why she punched him in the face before going through the window.
That's really.
Yeah, really. His name is Zachary Alam. Yeah, he was an Antifa member. He broke the window that she crawled through.
Absolutely, and she was forced the entire way. I heard there were 3 Antifa people that carried her all the way to the front of that protest, and they were all
Never
pushing her
said
through
that.
that
Red
window.
herring.
That's
Like,
crazy,
you
bro.
wanna
That's an
attack the memory
insane.
of
How
it,
many
that's the
Antifa?
full
It's so
story.
crazy that we've got thousands of different angles of video footage and everything else, and the best thing you could do is this Zach dude and Ray Epps. It's crazy how many instigators there were that just aren't on camera for some reason.
Landon
That's
Copeland-
fucking wild.
Landon Copeland-
It's crazy that
Landon
Enrique
Copeland
Tarrio
is
here
my
never mentioned
profession.
anything about an instigator forcing the Proud Boys to go there. Isn't that kind of weird? It's kind of crazy, huh?
We can address the Antifa thing. You can stop freaking out, and I can address the Antifa thing. Landon Copeland, an Antifa member, he actually gave a signed confession saying there were hundreds of Antifa there that he met with before.
Who?
Landon Copeland.
No, who the fuck asked, retard? This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. She tried to climb through the window on her own. We can all see it on fucking video footage. Nobody's pushing her fat retarded fucking ass through the fucking window. You're retarded. Sorry. Done. You're done.
Okay.
Sub 80 IQ. Mute him.
Was she more dangerous than the woman driving the car?
I want to give Deb wanted to answer Kung Fu Joe's question. If we can get back to that for a moment. Go ahead, Deb. Answer the question if you'd like.
Just refresh my
Do you
memory.
remember the question?
What was your question? Go ahead.
I want to know that if he has proof of like what percentage of people showed up there because Trump told them to be there.
It Trump announced the event. He was going to be there. He told people.
So you can't.
Well, no. Hear me out. Because Trump did announce the event. Yes, he announced it several times on social media, and also, more importantly, he retweeted. This got like over 100,000 likes. He retweeted Ivan Raiklin's tweet, where Ivan Raiklin said, "America, Mike Pence must do this tomorrow to defend our Constitution from our enemies. Big tech censorship, MSM censorship, corrupt officials at the federal, state, and local levels." And then it says, go to the, so yes, he's promoting these things. He's retweeting these things. At least some people who saw that ended up going. Yes, there's a connection.
You don't know how many. You don't know how many.
Hold on. Just let me ask you this.
More than zero?
Kung Fu Joe.
Obviously,
please.
yes.
Just real quick.
There were plenty of other motivations for people to be there than Trump.
That were all.
Kung Fu Joe, can you just acknowledge that perhaps at least a majority were probably there because Trump invited him? Can we just infer that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
Why not?
I think there's plenty of.
Why is that unreasonable?
Because I have a list of reasons why it's unreasonable. There was a lot of expanded mail-in voting. That's sus. That's one. The heavy-handedness during COVID under Democrats mostly. This list is things that mostly Democrats are responsible for. So in a way, you could say Democrats were responsible for January 6th because they pissed off a lot of fucking people. They pissed off a lot of people. Changes to election procedures without legislative approval. Restricted poll watcher access in some urban counting centers. High voter turnout and record vote totals. Are you going to tell me that all these other things on top of like a year of COVID, like heavy-handedness, is not going to make people suspicious, right, of the Democratic Party when they were pushing
we're not
this shit
asking
the hardest?
Why are they suspicious of the Democratic Party? We're asking how many do you think, and
I'm
you
getting
don't have
there.
to give us an exact number, percentage-wise, showed up because Donald Trump announced an event and said, come to this event?
Actually, let me ask you this, okay? So, Kung Fu Joe, are you aware that Turning Point USA was in contact with the Trump campaign to actually facilitate bringing people to DC for the event? And Charlie Kirk himself said this. He said that they were busing people in to attend this fucking event.
Who the
How
hell
is
cares?
that not them being brought in directly by Trump?
My point is that there's thousands upon thousands of people there, right? And the thing that you guys are alleging is that they're all there because of Trump. I'm saying that's bullshit. We don't fucking know that.
Said all.
What?
Right.
Okay, you can't even put a percent. Okay, put a percentage on it. What do you think it is? Can you even put a percentage on it? Honestly, no. You have no way of fucking knowing
of
that.
course. If Donald Trump hadn't made the calls to be there,
if
Donald Trump had made the calls to be there, the people wouldn't have shown up.
They were pissed anyway, dude.
I would have.
They
A
were
lot of
pissed.
people would.
They were
Stop.
pissed. They were. You keep saying this. Yes, they were pissed anyway.
Hold
they
up.
were pissed because
I
of lies that Donald Trump was telling.
I can speak from experience here.
They were pissed because of lies that Donald Trump was spreading.
I can speak from experience here.
Yes.
Destiny, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Even if Donald Trump didn't say anything, he said on November 14th, and December 12th was not promoted by Trump, and there was tens of thousands of people on the ground on DC without Trump saying a fucking word. So we could stop. We could cut that shit off. We could cut that shit off. That has no merit. That has no merit whatsoever.
And he needs that. He needs that as part of his narrative. It's part of his narrative. He needs that. He can't prove it.
Destiny already. Look,
you guys literally already said nobody even knew about the January 6th date until Trump called people to protest there. A November 14th protest on the night of the election makes sense.
People were talking about this all over the place, independent of Trump, and they were pissed about the stolen election. Trump said, "Oh, I'm upset about, or we're worried about mail-in voting," and everybody's like, "Oh, well, let's keep an eye on that." And then, wouldn't you know it, a bunch of mail-in fraud. We're all like, "Oh, now we know."
But there was no mail-in fraud, right? Never found any of that mail-in fraud, right?
Okay, so just real quick, $10 from Josiah, Pondering Politics, to say multiple convicted January 6ers and many.
Boom. Big. Hey, Vexinic. So much helping in global. Everyone's being so nice to each other. And that is the goal. Oh, I got a freaking rare talisman! Dudes! Alright, we are going to go Wolf, though, guys, honestly, because, you know, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're gonna go Wolf. We're gonna go Wolf. I guess I'll save Furious Slam in case I need it, but we're gonna go Wolf. Okay. Hey, I did just start. I got off work. I went to the gym with my wife, and then I got my kids to bed. So, is Dad trying the chat? I don't see my dad in the chat. Hey, Blazeworks, what's happening, man? Hey, Guitar Holic. Hey, Chuckles, what's happening, man? Hey, Chuckle.
Don't want to start a fight.
All right, I'm really sad because I spent all of my Orbs of Wisdom. But it's okay, guys. It's all right. We'll be okay. We're gonna do that. Oh, guys, do I have enough gold? I have enough gold to buy one from Una for my rare talisman. Oh no, I don't have enough. Love the speed of the wolf. Get some try. All right, here we go. We're doing wolf, dudes. We're doing wolf. I gotta find Bira though. It's super early. No, it's 7:47. Our 3-year-old's bedtime is 7 o'clock. It works. It works for us. I'm pretty sure it's this way. That's a really nice talisman. This is the private league, my man. Exclamation point PL to see if you want to join it. That's what you got to do. Oh gosh, guys, we're wolfing it up. Heck yeah. All right, where's Bira though? Seriously. Bira needs to show herself. Thanks, Blaze. I hope you had some solid progress in hardcore today, and I saw you had the pod with Halsey. I hope that went well. Oh my god, I forgot to post my pod. Oh my god, I forgot to post the podcast, guys. Holy crap, it totally spaced. No way. Guys, I forgot to post my podcast today. Oh, dude. Your podcast made me think of my podcast. Bro. I'm gonna freeze you. I froze you. I gotta pretend like this is hardcore, guys. All right, she's done for. She's so done for, guys. Oh, so easy.
I've nowhere to keep that.
I actually am kind of cooked, guys. Because I need freaking I need stuff to identify stuff with. What are those things called? Scrolls of wisdom, dudes? Halsey will be on my pod in 0.5, Blaze. Always want new blood. Some of them reach out to me, and sometimes I reach out to them. All right. Man, there's actually a lot more chat than I thought there was going to be. I'm not going to lie, guys. You guys are like very active in the chat. I started very late, guys. I literally just got in. Oh, hey, Saber. You got to Act 4 in Main League. You might try to get it to End Game in Second Win. Heck yeah. GGG Devs supporting Second Win. Shout out to Grinding Gear Games, who did boost us by a total of 10,000 slots. They gave us 80 slots late in the day. Shout out to GGG. I appreciate it. I did pester them to all hell, though. I will say. They are probably slightly annoyed at me, but it was worth it. Saving everybody some money, and I think a lot of people are coming back to PoE too.
Who pled guilty said they were there and did what they did for Trump. Check the court records. Dev can probably quote it verbatim.
I address that because
That's
what's called people do that during what's called an allocution. It's basically throwing yourself at the mercy of the court. It's basically, I'm sorry, I was a bad boy. When it comes to federal sentencing, you have a sentencing guideline based on an arbitrary number system. If you accept responsibility for your crime, you typically get a 3-point reduction in your sentence. But if you show no remorse, then you can get a 3-point enhancement. It might sound arbitrary, it is, but that's a 6-point difference in your sentencing, and that can be a huge disparity in how much time you do. And especially when you consider most of these guys were like blue collar guys, or they had wives and families to get home to. They were trying to do whatever they could to get home the soonest. It's also why even more people took plea deals than actually put the government to its burden at trial.
It's a humiliation ritual, not law.
Yep.
It is.
So it's not a humiliation ritual.
Yes, it is when you're doing
an allocation statement and an allocution statement.
No.
Trying to place the blame on somebody else.
Let Destiny respond to this.
Trying to
Destiny,
put the
go
blame
ahead,
on somebody else is like the
question.
opposite point of a fucking
after
allocution
Destiny
statement. Because the whole
responds,
point of allocution is that you're supposed to show you're taking responsibility for whatever the fuck else. So if you were to do an allocution statement, you would say, well, it was just because of Donald Trump the whole fucking time.
Well, welcome to DC. Welcome to the DC circuit. Yeah, welcome to the federal circuit in Washington, D.C., where they want you to throw Trump in his mouth. There was a snake in the jail with me named Tom Civic. He got released on bond because he wrote a letter to the judge saying, I'm sorry, I supported Trump. I'm Antifa now. I'm a good boy.
I'm sure. Yeah, all those corrupt judges, all the Antifa, Trans-Tifa. Yeah,
why didn't they charge people in their hometowns, Destiny?
Can I ask a question?
Why did they charge people in their hometown? Why would you charge people? Because the crime happened in D.C.
I'm giving you his name. Look it up. I'm giving you his name. Tom Civic. Look it up. I don't need to make this up. I have enough experience with this. I'm not making it up. I'm giving you a defendant's name. It actually happened. Look it up. Actually, according to NPR, yeah, but well, look it up. Tom Civic wrote a letter. His judge released him out on bond. His restrictions were that he couldn't watch Fox News and far right content. But yeah, he was saying that we were cult members in the jail because we sang the national anthem at night. Yeah, that's what they expected. It was a humiliation ritual. Suck it.
Yeah. So I got a question for Destiny here, since he said that I got tried by a member of my jury. I want to go back in a time machine really quick, and I want to give him the same example, and I want to see if he feels the same way. Pre-civil rights era, and even after civil rights era, in the South, specifically in Alabama, there was a lot of black African-American defendants that got sentenced to not life in prison, they got sentenced to death. And they went to trial, and ever since then, a lot of them have been overturned. But because the reason why they were overturned, it was because it was a white racist jury as members of the jury, which were clearly, and they had said that they hate N-words. So in that case, can you say that those people that got death sentences in the state, we'll focus on the state of Alabama, would you say that they got fair trials too?
I would say probably not. Do you have evidence that the jury came out and was making statements like, I hate all Trump supporters and I'm going to convict all Trump supporters, or...
Destiny, I have a couple of those examples that are worse. When the judge in my case asked, and three individuals did the same exact thing.
Did any of the jury come out and say anything like this?
Did the jury? Yes, they did.
Members of the jury came out and said that we hate all Trump supporters. We're going to convict all Trump supporters.
No, they said worse than that.
Okay.
They asked, do you know about Enrique Tarrio and the Proud Boys? And they said yes. Do you have strong feelings towards Enrique Tarrio and the Proud Boys? Yes. What are those strong feelings, and describe them? Nazis, anti-Semitic, racist, all sorts of things. Okay, based on those strong feelings, can you, as a member of the jury, judge this case, set those feelings aside and judge this case by the evidence and the evidence alone? Do you know what those three people said?
Yes.
They said no.
No?
They said no.
They
said no.
Why didn't your attorney get them thrown out?
We did. We tried. Believe me, when somebody says that, we did try. The very next day and the day after that, those three members of the jury were put right back on the stand and asked the same question. And if you've ever been in that position, the judge sits on a podium this tall with a black robe, very menacing, and asks, are you sure? And all three of them said yes the very next day. After already saying no, they said hard no, there wasn't no ifs, ands, or maybes. And they were allowed to sit in my trial. During the trial, the foreman of the jury, we protest Drag Queen Story Hour all the time. We asked if he was politically active. He said no. After the trial, actually months after the trial, months after my sentencing, we find out that this gentleman puts together Drag Queen Story Hours in the D.C. area, an area known for Proud Boys protesting Drag Queen Story Hour, and specifically one of his events. So people can hate me all they want, but the process wasn't fair. And this happened many, many, many times over. So I'd encourage you to rethink your position when it comes to my conviction.
I'm going to let Destiny and Dev respond to that. And then I have Josiah really wants me to read these out. So once Destiny and Dev respond to that, I'm going to read something from Pondering Politics, Josiah. And then that's the order we'll go into. Go ahead.
Well, I'm trying to find information about this Thomas Civic guy who assaulted the police officer.
Yo-M-S-I-B-I-C-K.
No, yeah, but are you saying that he got out on bond because he wrote some letter saying that he was Antifa now or whatever?
I said Antifa facetiously. He said he was no longer a conservative or Trump supporter. He was a liberal, and that was I believe it should have been September. Would have been in September of 2021.
What can I Google to find this letter or whatever?
I can look it up. Hold on.
While you guys are looking that up, so here's what Josiah has to say. He says, Terrio said Trump had nothing to do with the November 14th, 2020 million MAGA march. But here he is, the day before, hyping it up and saying he'd show up. And he made an appearance with his motorcade. The tweets he's referring to is on the 13th of November, 2020. He says, heartwarming to see all the tremendous support out there, especially the organic rallies that are springing up all over the country, including a big one on Saturday in D.C. I may even try to stop by and say hello. This election was rigged from Dominion all the way up and down. And then he also, that's what he says on the 13th of November.
Hey guys, sorry to cut in here. I'm sorry to cut in on your thing. I got to run. I got another event that I got to go to. I really got to say I appreciate you for putting this together. I appreciate my brother Tim Hale, everybody else on this. Destiny, thank you for being here. Dev, thank you guys. Appreciate you. I'll be back. If you guys want to do this again, I'm open.
Okay. Have a great day. Thank you for coming.
Keep in touch with yourself.
I will touch myself.
No, not on screen.
Take it deep. Hey, I got a link to that letter. I'm trying to put it in a chat, but it's not pulling up. Can I do the screen share, or is that what I should do? Or
send me the link and I will put it on screen.
Alrighty.
Just DM it to me directly, please.
You got it.
And now he freezes.
I'm opening it up.
Hamster internet at its best.
I'm going to share. What am I looking at here?
Oh, that's the handwritten.
Walk me through it. Yeah, see it on
there's a
screen?
handwritten.
You should be able to read.
Yeah, if you don't see it, click on the share button, bro. Or view screen or something.
Read it, Wick.
Okay. This is from Julie Kelly. There's one get out of jail free card. Write a letter to Trump loafing judge like Amy Berman Jackson condemning Trump and have the defense lawyer accuse January 6 detainees of acting like cult members. Tom Civic, charged with same crimes as many others in D.C. Gitmo, first detainee. And this is, he writes, it's cursive. Give me a second. Your Honor, my name is Thomas Civic. In an attempt to provide an understanding of who I am, I felt compelled to write because my conduct on January 6th was unequivocally an aberration of the high moral standards I hold myself to. What happened at the United States Capitol that day does not provide an adequate representation of my character. Although I strive for excellence, I will be the first to admit that I am not perfect. My life has been full of joyful times, However, there have been a fair share of growing pains, none more significant than what I am currently experiencing. The shame, dishonor, and regret endured are without question the worst emotions ever experienced. I disagree with what occurred that fateful day, especially the trauma suffered by Officer Michael Ferone? It is without question unconscionable. January 6th was a disgrace to our nation that felt a sea of I don't know this word, Trump is ultimately responsible for. But we are strong and will heal from it. While many praise Trump, I loathe him. His words and actions are nefarious, causing pain and harm to the world. He is not a leader and should be ostracized from any political future. What he honestly needs to do is go away. Throughout my incarceration, I have had ample time for self-reflection, which has enabled me to grow and become more cognizant of my being, ultimately having a profound impact on my core values. I have vowed to never attend another political protest in my life. That was my first and last. In addition, I will never allow myself to be consumed by the mob mentality. It is dangerous and undoubtedly out of character. I give irrefutable assurance to the court that if I am released, I will without hesitation abide by any and all conditions set forth. All I desire is peace, reconciliation, and unity. We must all work together to build back a better nation. And sincerely, Thomas Sebek.
And then what was the date for this letter?
Filed. It was filed on October 18th, 2021. I don't.
Yeah, there was. It would have been sometime. I believe it was in September that he was.
I don't see a date.
He was a jailhouse snitch, so he was gathering information on people. He ended up going to the hole for sexually assaulting another man, and then he got bailed. Funny enough,
it's a yikes.
The big yikes.
It's a yikes.
As long as he renounced his own feelings and thoughts and paid tribute to the left.
So what? I'm just out of my curiosity, and maybe I got lost reading that. What was the point of the letter? Like,
so his claim was that this guy was able to get out on bond. So this doesn't mean that he got out of any charges or anything, but because he wrote a letter saying he hated Trump and he's Antifa, or he threw Trump under the bus, basically. It sounds like he's writing a letter to try to say that he's not a public threat anymore, and he recognizes the wrong of his actions, and he's not going to, I guess, try to be a threat. He's just trying to get out on bond. He's not escaping his actual court case.
It also served a secondary purpose of framing those of us who were still in there as creating a radicalized environment. So another part of this is the pleadings of his lawyer, who was saying that because we had a tradition in the jail of singing the national anthem at 9 o'clock every night, it created a toxic environment. He was being bullied and compelled to sing the anthem. And the judge wanted to save him from this toxic environment, and she appreciated that he was going out of his way to avoid radicalism. So that was that. He did end up getting a lower sentence than his co-defendant's head.
Well, fuck, dude, you shouldn't have rioted then.
What's that?
You shouldn't have rioted then.
What's that in response to?
Every single thing that I've heard for the past 5 minutes. Like, I don't care about the sob story. You were there. You fucked up. You should still be in jail.
You talking about him?
What do you? So this is for fun. I'm just curious. Who published this? I mean, how did they get this letter? Who published this letter?
That's a court file, dude. You could see the case file number at the top of the letter. So it usually would go on.
Oh, so if you write a letter for bond or whatever, it'll be a part of your court proceedings. Okay, just curious.
Yeah.
Okay, gang, we are kind of circling the drain just a little bit here, just a little bit. Is there anything like that you guys think that we haven't covered yet that we should?
I have a question for Dev.
Oh, go ahead.
So Dev, I've been thinking on this a lot, and it seems like obviously this is a controversial issue. It's hot. Would you agree that anybody who was nonviolent in either the J6 or the BLM or any just politically motivated, we just say, guess what? If you were in a politically motivated thing, we value free speech. We don't like people getting run over. We know things can run hot. So anybody that hits a cop, burns a building down, breaks something, okay, we're not putting that in this bucket. But would you agree to like a universal, if you were nonviolent, you didn't break anything, everybody get pardoned on that? Is it an untenable position for you?
Yeah, it's retarded. Because there's lots of nonviolent crime. What are you talking about?
All right,
trespassing is a nonviolent crime. You should be charged with that.
All right, I understand your crazy position.
It's crazy to charge. Wait, is it crazy to charge for nonviolent crimes?
It's crazy to try to say that we value political protests and that we're going to turn a blind eye on some of it, and we're not going to have a threshold that we're going to apply across everyone. Well, and generally, I've been out there talking to a lot of fucking people. During the last election cycle, I knocked on 7,000 doors. I've talked to tons of people. And nobody thinks it's okay to hit a cop. Nobody thinks it's okay to disrupt an election where you think something went wrong. Nobody thinks that's okay. And the one sort of plan that virtually every moderate would go for this plan, by the way. And even most of the folks on the extreme say, well, you know, we want to have civilian participation in government. We don't want to shut this down. We want to be able to have speech. Why don't we try to be soft? Because this is the argument on the BLM riots. There wasn't the same level of follow-up on those, for all of those nonviolent ones. So what you're saying is, fuck the right, but the left gets a free pass. And you don't want that because you think it's crazy.
I'm not
okay,
saying
I get
that.
it. You think it's crazy.
I'm not saying
you just
that.
said the policy was crazy. And I explained how it would apply and how it would benefit each side. And now you're saying it's not crazy. That's great. I'm making progress.
Listen, just because your specific idea is stupid does not mean that I'm saying the left has a free pass, all right? I think that all trespassers should be charged with trespassing.
Decouple that. My pardon idea is stupid. How? How?
Because you're saying that there should just be a blanket pardon for all nonviolent crimes. No, there shouldn't be.
So the FBI has been following up on J6 for like 4 years.
Let's have answer the question. Dev, go ahead, please.
So if you trespassed, you should be charged with trespassing. That means a whole bunch of people on J6 should have been charged with trespassing, and that's a good thing. But also if there's like lefty protests where there's trespassing happening, charge them too.
If they knew that they were trespassing and they qualified for the mens rea, it's again, I feel like a lot of this is people just kind of memory holding the fact that it developed into a riot because the crowds were attacked.
No.
Why were the crowds attacked?
Hold on. Wait. Were the crowds attacked before Dominic broke into the Capitol?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what led him up there, actually. There was a northwest scaffolding area that people poured into, and then I actually have video showing that you had people warning the police saying, hey, if you keep shooting through the scaffolding through the tarps, people are going to have one direction to go, and that's up. Because
people poured into the northwest near that scaffolding. People were pouring into an area that they, weren't supposed to be in?
Northwest scaffolding was an open area that people went into because they had nowhere else to go.
Yeah, wait. They couldn't go back? Where they came from?
The amount of people when the cops were coming at you? Yeah, do you want me to show you some video of what the cops were doing?
To people that were trying to break into the Capitol, right? They were trying to break into the Capitol, right? Why are you pretending so the only direction they could go was forward? Hold on, wait. So I'm just to be clear, you have video showing that the crowd of people that was on their way to the scaffolding was so dense they couldn't just turn around and walk away when the cops are saying, hey, don't come here. We talked about mens rea earlier. Don't you think it's a decent state of mind to know you're not supposed to be in an area if a cop is saying, hey, go back?
Hey, you're assuming a lot of things there. Like the cops are saying, hey, go back. You know, a riot was actually declared before they used any PA system to actually tell people that it was a restricted area. And like I said, and I'm not, look, we can get into the Proud Boy thing, which you're incorrect about, but the barriers were removed from the outside, meaning people like me show up a half hour later not knowing there's a restricted area. Wick, I just sent you a video.
I got it. It's up.
Previous rioters, though.
Let's roll with it. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Let's see what they have to say.
Yeah, those guys are violent. Look at them. Yeah, hold
Lots of room to walk backwards, though. They could just go home.
Yep, those are some hardcore criminals right there.
What am I looking for here? Just FYI.
I apologize for the sound quality. I had to record this in the jail using a Discovery laptop off of a tablet. You have to listen. Basically, this guy right here, and I guess it's a Carhartt. I don't know what that is, but with the black face mask, he's telling the cops as he's watching it that when they're shooting. So there's this northwest scaffold, and it's covered in a tarp. When people go in there for cover, so they don't get sprayed or shot at, the cops start shooting through the tarp, and they start hitting random people.
I'm gonna be real with you. I can't hear a thing this guy's saying.
So if you pull up the tweet that it's from, it actually I wrote out the transcript there.
I do know where this is, and like this is at the third barricade. You do realize like the crowd has already gone through 2 barricades at this point, right?
I'm aware of that, yeah. But what I'm
So they
what I'm
shouldn't,
trying
they
to
shouldn't
relay.
be here then, right? They shouldn't be
But
here.
what I'm
Just pass it.
instead of jumping ahead, let's rewind. What did I say? People didn't know it was a restricted area. People didn't know they weren't allowed to be there. I showed up, for instance, a half hour after those barriers, the first 2 were taken down, right? So a lot of people are there with different mindsets and different perspectives of what's happening. I have my cell phone footage, and it shows that we're just standing around singing "God Bless America." I had no idea there was any breach at all. And so when they start shooting at people, not even at agitators specifically, but in the middle of the crowd, when they start body slamming old ladies with riot shields, people get incensed. Not saying January 6th was good. What I'm saying is there's a broader context here for people who had no idea.
I understand. But I have a question about your situation though. So when you went through those first 2 overturned barricades, you didn't think to yourself, "Hey, something's going on here"?
I didn't see barricades. That's the problem. There were so many people there. It was like an ocean of people. I didn't see any barricades. And keep in mind, for the first crew that came through, a lot of them were removed. They actually threw some over like these stone walls that were through the walkways that connected Peace Circle to the West Terrace. So if you weren't looking for it, you very often were not going to see it. I mean, there's no other explanation than that. That's the truth.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to hear it.
Yeah, Dev gave me some video too. Let's see. And Dev, what am I looking for here?
Oh, we're just gonna watch it. Just play it for a few seconds. We're good. Yeah. Turn on the audio too.
We're trying to get compliance, but this is now effectively a riot.
49 hours declaring it a riot.
So this is them breaching the third barricade.
Cal Police 1 advised they're trying to breach and get into the Capitol.
Yeah, third barricade's down. And they've now broken in. I mean, like, the entire narrative about this event on the right is fucking ridiculous, guys. This is not some peaceful protest.
Easy for you to say because you're conflating a bunch of shit, and this is what you've gotten away with years, is just using a bunch of compilations and shit. This is what the J6 committee did. This is what they did at the trials. They create these giant compilations, and they create a grand narrative and ignore the individual experience. I mean, like, so for instance, the second clip is on the east side of the Capitol. That's where Pam Hempfield was rushing the police. That has nothing to do with what happened on the west side. You have the northwest scaffolding, what I just talked about, the third thing. The Senate wing door area. There are different individuals involved in these things, and there's a sequence for how this happened. The first thing, how do you think it got to that point? Again, that's the area of the front of the northwest scaffolding, the first part. I don't know if I can be heard.
Yeah, you can be heard, but I'm just curious. Okay. Like, to me, it's looking like the people here are attacking the cops. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, and I can provide some context for that. And I'm not defending attacking the cops, but...
What is the context? Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. What's the context?
I'm trying to find a clip that I could show you that would enlighten the audience a little, especially for a lot of the people that I was locked up with. Basically, along that front end there, along the front west terrace, you have police who are using excessive force on people who are along that police line, right? So for quite a while, before that first perimeter collapses, you have people who are coming up to the barricade. Maybe they're chanting some stupid stuff or whatever, the waving flags. A lot of them are trying to talk to the police. What you have is people like Padilla, for instance, Jose Padilla, he gets bashed over the head with riot batons to the point where he blacks out 4 different times. You have people like Jeffrey McKellop, who was there at the front in the first clip. You see that area? That's the front. That's the west terrace, right? He's there peacefully protesting, and then he sees an old woman get smacked down with a riot shield. Right? This incenses people. These are grown men. They're seeing old women being attacked. I have video of people. Michael Curgio, I have video from him. People were getting hit with gases.
Wait, can you just play from here and then Tim, I want you to tell me if you see anything that this goes through that you disagree with for how they're characterizing stuff. Also, is this the scaffolding that you're talking about at the northwest part or whatever?
Okay. You watching? Everyone got it? Everyone good? Everyone eyeballs on? Ears up? Okay.
weeks of Biggs's arrival, over a dozen Proud Boys are now trained on that entrance. And they attack the police.
Is this the scaffolding?
The crowd around them again.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
for the scaffolding,
here,
so this is where the police are being attacked for them to gain entrance to this area. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is the white area here. This goes around. This is like a construction site.
Yeah, I see. Yeah,
they're getting ready for the inaugural address.
Yep.
All right, so
Keep
people
playing.
pour into here.
After the cops are attacked. After the cops are attacked here. Yeah.
Cops start shooting through the right here, this tarp here. Right.
After people are breaking in because they're attacking the cops to fight through this. Yes.
And a lot of them are pouring in there because they're getting sprayed and maced.
You ready for me to continue?
Yeah, keep going.
Kicking off a fierce 20-minute battle for the scaffolding. It's the closest yet the mob has come to the lawmakers inside, who are still in session. Again, Proud Boys stay at the front. When police start using weapons here, Joe Biggs retreats again with a small team. They stand to the side and watch from the lawn. Some of them peel off and head for the east side of the Capitol, where Biggs will meet them later.
So pause for a sec. So do you have, where is the video footage of the cops just randomly shooting tear gas or whatever into the crowd, where an area hasn't already been breached, or there aren't people who are literally fighting with cops?
First, I just sent Wick. I sent you a video of them body slamming an old woman.
Okay.
And then,
give me a second. What's the timestamp on this so we know? 1309. I'm gonna have to juggle here. Well, you know, I can just open 2 different tabs. Duh. Okay.
Wait, real quick. Can you go back for a second? Did that lady run up and shove the cop? Is that what just happened? I just want to make sure I saw that clearly. Did she walk up and shove the guy forward? Yeah, just checking.
Yeah, let's watch.
Okay.
She comes up. They shove each other.
No, she shoves that cop back. Yep, and is standing there in an area she knows she's not supposed to be, and she gets pushed back. That was the body. Was that the body slam, or was that her getting pushed back? Is there another body slam, or?
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah,
we got 15 seconds left. So.
Riot shield.
Well, she fucking deserved it, dude.
She's getting pushed back again, and she's fighting. This is our body slammed old person that you were getting so upset about. Okay.
I was getting so upset. I didn't even see that. I didn't get upset about that, but lots of other people did.
Gotcha.
Again, you can keep.
Well, this is really interesting. Well, what they're saying is really interesting, because that's the point that Mr. Torrio was making to Destiny about the woman that was shot today or yesterday with the car, right? It's like, oh, well, this person drove into a cop and they got shot. Oh, good for them breaking rules, stupid games, stupid prizes, right? That's kind of what you're doing now.
Hold on, real quick, Dev. Hey, Dev, can I ask Dev a question? Dev, if the cops were to arrest that woman because she had, let's assume that one cop hadn't put himself in front of the vehicle. Let's say the cop asks her to get out and she flees the scene. If the cops had driven, followed the woman, and then arrested her eventually, do you think the cops would be in their right to do that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay, me too. You see the difference there? We have no problem admitting when somebody's doing something bad, and they probably should get arrested for it. So I don't know what the fuck your point is. Did the woman that we just saw, was she shot by the cop? Was she shot?
She's arrested. Yeah,
what?
I mean, cool. She got body slammed. Games, prizes. I'll say both of them. What's the difference? Except she doesn't have a car. This lady couldn't hit the guy with the car. That's much.
She's
more
trying to break in a riot. She's trying to push her way through where there's 10 cops saying, "Stop! Don't come here!" And she pushes her way forward. She assaults the cops.
And there's 10 cops, right? And they took her down, right? Okay, cool. Stupid game, stupid prize. I'm okay with that, right?
Okay,
but whenever we apply that same logic over here to the other one, you're going, well, she didn't deserve getting shot. Like,
yeah, because this lady didn't get shot. You see the difference between getting shot and getting pushed?
Someone did get shot at this event.
Eventually, somebody was climbing through climbing through a door to get to Congressman when there was a guy on the other side of the gun.
It's the same metric. See the double standard?
It's not really the same metric at all, though. Yeah. It's not a double standard. It's 2 different standards for 2 different situations.
It is.
It's the same standard.
So just to be clear, just to go back, because this is all a fucking lie, because all you guys do is fucking lie, which is fine, I get it. This is the world we live in now. There is no video footage of cops randomly shooting off disbursement ordnance or any kind of pepper gas or whatever else randomly into crowds or whatever, and that's why everybody's coming forward. All of the fighting, all of this was happening before the cops were shooting anything, so that you can't possibly use that as blaming why the people were trying to break in. That was all just a lie.
We'll get you. By the way, Wick, I sent you a 7-second clip of literally state police Capitol Police rather, opening the barricade and waving people in. That could have confused at least some of the people that were there.
This was after the Capitol had already been breached.
So look, here's the thing. There are people that got charged showing up after it had been breached.
Nice.
So you moved the football.
No, to be clear,
when a Capitol Police officer quickly waves it forward.
Yeah.
Just real quick, Stream Rift, you haven't sent me anything. I have no DMs from you in the last hour.
I put it in the group chat, but I'll send it directly.
Okay, send it to me directly. This is something that Tim just sent to me. It's 28 seconds long. What are we looking for, Tim?
You're going to see the midget fella on the left with the bullhorn. The police attempt to shoot him through the face again like they did to Joshua Black, but it ricochets off someone's flag. I just want to provide more context to the kind of things that were happening between all the clips that people see on
let me watch
TV.
it. Yeah, let me watch it.
Yeah. Well, look, I work this week. I got a paycheck. I got to go fuck up my fellow brother. Yeah.
Where's the midget?
Trump works for the people. Why can't you? Trump works for the people.
That's pretty much it for that. The rest of them just,
That's terrible. That's crazy.
They should have
Yeah, I
shot
know.
more, dude. Disperse those crowds. Get them the fuck out of there.
Okay,
show.
this is from
just pissing
Stream
them
Rift.
off.
There's no audio
So
on
they're-
this that I can see.
I don't think there is. It's very brief. She's literally waving them in. Waving them in. How do you...
Oh, there is.
Yeah, come on in, guys. Come on in. We hear you.
I've seen this clip. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, there's like all of these have been debunked like 50 million times, but when you're so fucking high off your own psychotic, retarded shit.
All right.
Yeah. Is this the vertical one where she's Is this the one where she's waving at other cops but this is cut vertically
Yes.
and these guys don't know what aspect ratio is? Yeah, that's good. It's all right though.
Yes.
So I'm sure nobody there was
Basically,
It's
confused.
got to be so nice to do
what's going on
propaganda for
is
retards. Holy shit. It's like lying to a
the barricade's
3-year-old.
already
Jesus.
fallen, and
To
she's
deny
waving
your eyes.
cops that are now behind the lines to come forward and go to the new line. Basically, she's not waving in protest.
So there's no way anybody would have been confused on that one.
But no one is
That's the
talking
fucking
about
point.
that. No one is
When the
saying no
crowd
one
is
would have been
going in
confused. There
thinking
might
that
be
it's
some
okay,
people. That's not what we're
and then
talking
you're
about.
waving them in.
No one is
it
talking
leaves the
about that.
impression-
No one. That's not
Oh,
what the
we are
debate
talking about
is. Is
that right
whether
now.
or not.
You're literally talking about it right now.
What's give us? Okay,
perspective
okay.
doesn't matter.
No.
Just as easy as anyone else could misunderstand. it.
Every
Somebody could
single
have moved in.
person that walked in was not charged with or convicted of trespassing.
Thank God.
Okay, so
What does
I
that
don't
tell
know.
you about that
Triangle.
Capitol Police waving people in?
Because not every single person who just waved in was charged with trespassing.
What were you charged with, Tim?
I was charged with a misdemeanor cocktail, like picketing and trespass and all that. I also had a felony charge called obstruction of an official proceeding, an Enron scandal era charge. It had to do with destruction of documents. That was
How long
overturned
were
by
you
the
in
Supreme
prison,
Court.
Tim?
3 years.
Damn.
Okay.
Did you actually enter the building? Did you go inside?
And
Yeah, I
did
walked
you end
around
up
there for
needing that?
about 40 minutes.
Did you end up? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, shit. That's probably why you were charged with it. You shouldn't have been in there.
No, it was a fake statute. It goes back to the Enron scandal for destruction of documents. I should have got a year max, and nobody even does that with a federal misdemeanor. I would have
how is
done
it
85%
fake?
of the time.
How's it
Great
fake
abstract.
statute
Statute.
under it?
Oh, if you
Tim,
want to understand, if you want to
Did you
understand,
not
the
win
Supreme
your?
Court-
Tim,
Well,
did you
hold
not
on.
win your?
You're all trying to
appeal?
talk at once. Just let Tim answer the question, and Dev can ask the question. But yeah, let Tim answer.
Actually, I was asking the questions.
Well,
I've had
you were
whoever,
both
go ahead.
asking questions, but fair.
I'll answer both questions.
Yeah, Tim. So, and I've heard this, but it's been a year, or almost a year now. Remind me, you did not actually need the pardon that you got. Why was that?
The pardon for me only wiped out the misdemeanors, which I would have, whatever. The felony charge I beat after I served my sentence. I beat it on in appeals at the appellate court. It was based off of the ruling in the Fisher case, which showed that they improperly prosecuted people for 18 U.S.C. 1512, obstruction of an official proceeding. So it took Took a few years, but I beat that after sentence. So.
Okay, Dev, if you had a question for it. Otherwise, I have one more question for Dev and Destiny, and then maybe we might wrap it up.
Go ahead.
Well,
go
real
ahead.
quick. Well, I'll ask a question. Tim, you knew that you were in the building when you shouldn't have been, right?
Actually, I did not, and so this became a huge contention during all this. I didn't know where the fuck I was. I followed a crowd. One of the big things that got me in trouble.
Hold on, wait. Were you not one of
Did
the?
you enter the back
weren't you,
rooms,
wait,
dude? What
weren't
the
you one
fuck?
of the first people in?
No, they say that because of proximity in terms of chronology. A lot of people poured in before I did.
When you say
So
a lot,
the
you're
first
saying
breach
I can't
happened-
find a video of you minutes or within a minute after the very first breach. I can't find a video of you
I'm
going
actually
in.
trying to address the time. Yes, you can. I came in at about 2:14 p.m. The breach has happened at 2:12. So within 2 minutes, I entered the Senate wing door area. I was not one of the first people in. I mean, I guess you look at the totality of people who came in, but I wasn't one of the first people who broke the window or kicked the doors open or anything like that. I walked through an open door. I stopped actually on the scaffold and picked up a flag, and then I just kind of wandered around and I followed a crowd in the building. I didn't know where I was, and if you watch the CCTV for the camera for the Senate wing door area, you'll actually watch me take a right. I go down a hallway, I turn back, I go down the other hallway on the left, and then I turn right back. I didn't know where I was.
You had no idea. Wait, hold on.
Just
super. Did you ever? Were you ever saying words like a revolution was coming to Capitol Police?
I cursed off police on the outside after they were spraying people. I said, "The revolution won't be televised, cunt." Yeah, I did.
Okay, and then were you telling other
So that's
people
a
to
reference
continue
to-
going into the Capitol?
Reference to something? You think I was talking about an actual revolution? Or you think I was referencing something from the civil rights era?
Were you challenging other people to go into the building?
No, I didn't challenge people to go into the building. What does that even mean? No.
Encouraging people to go into the building, asking people to go into the building, telling people to advance on the
No.
Capitol? No.
Well, that came from an NCIS recording where I was talking shit drunk a week after the fact to my friend, who I thought was my best friend, but NCI strapped a wire on. I was talking shit. That didn't happen.
Okay, but you just were in 2 minutes after the breach, walking around with a flag, making statements to Capitol Police saying things like a revolution won't be televised.
That was on the outside
that
towards
origin?
the scaffolding where a cop was mocking me and making mocking gestures towards me.
Oh, so you were
because
already
people
outside
were
on the
mean.
scaffolding, so you were near all of the initial breaching, and you had no idea that you guys weren't supposed to be there. So there was
Was
a
not
cop
near the initial
outside
breaching.
on the scaffolding
near the initial
where you knew
breaching.
people were, and then you
Wasn't near
went
the
in
initial
through the
breaching.
crowd and into the building. That's
Wasn't
crazy.
near the initial breaching.
That's crazy.
Was not near the initial breaching.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy that you can't listen.
That's
I
just
wasn't near the
crazy
initial
that you
breaching.
were so close to all of the
Yeah, that's
initial breaches. You had no
crazy.
clue. You were just being
It's
carried
no
along with the
crazy,
crowd.
you know?
Just insane. You're just
I
carried
do
along
have,
with the
I
crowd.
do have just one question for you. Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I say now. You should tell the truth, yeah? Oh, that's crazy. No, I can't believe that, no?
Tim, I have one question. This is just for me personally, okay? What are the strength of the maglock doors in the Capitol building?
So I actually know where you're going with this, and you're actually right. I actually did some prep on this. I watched your previous debates. Those doors are, there may be some magnetic element to it, but yes. I know that it's a fire lock. If you push it, yeah. If you push onto those doors and you hold onto them, they'll open up. That's
Okay,
not.
thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Oh man, that dude's
Yeah.
gonna
I
kill
would
himself.
say,
Artemis?
I would say to provide some other context, the man who does that, I'm not alluding to him being some fed or anything. He's a man named George Tenney, and he was in a previous stream I've seen you guys on. It was alleged that he was probably talking to another rioter. He was actually talking to Capitol Police on the level above. There's a crosswalk above. And we don't have the audio, but in George Tenney's trial testimony, he says that he was speaking to the police and they informed him on how to open that door. And there is CCTV, again, no audio, showing one of the white shirt officers right in that same area. So that did happen. I agree, though, and you are correct. Magnetic thing, that was some early, I'm not going to say disinformation, but that was an early rumor. Even my lawyer believed that. My lawyer represented one of the Oath Keepers as well. So that was something that people believed. It's not a real good talking point, though. It's not really relevant.
Well, yeah, I mean, it came from the Twitter account called Swank for America, who was a lawyer for the Oath Keepers, so that guy probably just made it up and then it spread around. But are you claiming that the person that he was talking to above was actually like a Capitol Police? Was he the insider? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying the police officer's the insider?
Is he there?
Broke up there. You said, was he what?
He froze. Okay.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Are you claiming that like the police officer who was on the level above talking down to him, he was the inside job guy that was letting him in?
No, well, it was a woman. I'm not claiming that. George Tenney claimed that in his trial, and CCTV corroborates that there was a woman there. And then, if you look at it, yeah, I mean, it does look like that. He's not able to do it. You know, he points up, he talks to someone, and then suddenly after that, he knows how to open the door, even though, granted, there's a sign there. So yeah, I mean, I believe that that's what happened. I have no reason to deny
but that's
or
someone's
to doubt it.
police officer, though.
The Capitol police officer. I don't know what her exact rank was. She was a white shirt, so I imagine she was some form of upper brass, not a patrolman.
Okay. I do have a question for Destiny and Dev, and then I want to let the rest of you ask questions to them too, if you have them. But I'd like this to kind of move it a little bit to what we were initially talking about. So, do we see? I guess it's a two-parter. Do we see a problem with the official White House website putting out their version of events like this is? And if you do, what needs to be done about this? Like, what exactly is the problem, and what do you recommend or advocate is done? Go ahead.
I mean, the whole narrative is just a lie from start to finish. Trump wanted it. He called the people there. When they were there, they marched. They were violent. They insurrected. They managed to delay the vote. When the vote was delayed, him and his little cronies were making phone calls to congressmen in order to try to get them to change the outcome of the election. They refused. Pence refused. Eventually, Ashley Babbitt gets shot. The National Guard finally shows up. Trump, who shows himself to be so strong and able to deploy the National Guard to states that don't even want them there, for some reason was impotent for hours, watching everything unfolding on TV. Was tweeting out basically harassing tweets towards Pence and everything else, and it wasn't until after Ashley Babbitt was shot hours later Trump finally tells people to go home, and he realizes his little insurrection plan failed. I mean, all the evidence of the day supports this 100%. I don't know why. What is the answer to, like, why didn't Trump immediately demand the National Guard go there to stop the rioters? Was he not worried that it might make him look bad or anything else? Because he wanted it to succeed. That was the goal.
Didn't he ask for the National Guard beforehand?
Yep. He made that as a slight suggestion, but like, I mean, this was weeks beforehand.
There's not a slight suggestion.
This is the thing again.
Hold on. Who do you think? Hold on. Who do you think?
Trump does good?
Yeah.
But when
It's
Trump
called.
does things bad,
Well, so it's called understanding things. It's called understanding things. Doesn't Donald Trump have the sole authority, the ability to deploy the National Guard to DC if he so wants, if he demands it? You think bringing this up casually in a conversation is the same thing as saying the National Guard will be there? Can anybody say no to Donald Trump on that? Because I thought we just watched Donald Trump forcibly deploy the National Guard not to just DC, but to several states. You're saying at the point in time he couldn't.
It didn't happen on a snap of a fingers, but sure, fair enough. Sure. But was it Pelosi the one that stopped those National Guard?
No, it was Bowser.
No.
No, I feel like we have video of her saying that it was her.
It was Bowser.
I feel like there's a
It
video.
was Bowser.
I feel like that
she doesn't have the authority. It was Bowser.
For that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you saw a 1 minute clip of her saying we have responsibility for this because they didn't do enough to stop it.
We've seen a lot of 1 minute clips today, haven't we?
Yeah, because you guys live in 1 minute videos. Because I don't think you guys have the memory to store anything even more in your brain.
So Gibbs, I'll lay it out to you. So what you have is a clip from the HBO documentary on the Capitol where she says, "We've totally failed. I take responsibility." That's her in the limo at the end of the day, and it's not like her officially taking responsibility. It's her basically saying,
well, she's never officially taking responsibility.
How have we descended to this point as a country?
English is different now.
No, hear me out though. Hear me out, because
why was Trump? Wait, hold on, and then Deb, wait, and then Deb goes. Why was Trump? Why was Trump making calls? Why was Trump making calls while the riot was happening, when protesters were in the Capitol building trying to get people to change their vote? Why was he making those calls?
He was trying to save the country. He thought the election had been stolen.
We're not going to let that just slide by.
Wait. So he didn't care that there was violence. So he was making calls. He was making calls under the threat of violence to get congressmen to do something different, to change the outcome of the election. Yes.
Yeah, there's no proof of that.
No proof of what? No proof of what? Wait, no proof of what?
That he threatened violence.
No, under threat of violence. There were violent protesters in the building.
What threat of violence? What threat of violence?
The violent protesters that were inside the Capitol.
The rioters that were there.
Yes.
The rioters were there. And you think Trump somehow projected that he controlled that?
Considering they all left after he tweeted for them to go home, seems pretty likely.
Hold on. You're trying to tell me that Trump projected such strength, and yet every single congressman he called said, "Nah, I don't think I'm going to change my vote here, pal. I'm sorry."
Wasn't that his goal? Didn't he say multiple times they were there to give the strength to the congressmen? Wasn't that the whole point?
I don't know what his goal was. You don't know what his goal is either.
But I do, because he said it in the ellipse speech multiple times.
He said, we're here to give the congressmen strength to change their vote. He said that during the U.S. speech.
Yeah, that's me backing. That's not threatening them. What do you? I mean, you guys speak English, right? English is your first language.
Yeah, so that's not the threat. The threat is when the violent people are inside of the Capitol rioting, and then you're making an ask for them to change their vote while violent people are inside the Capitol. Yes.
But he doesn't control those violent people.
They're there for him. They're there for him.
The problem that you're saying is that this is a very interesting thing, because let's just say for a minute that I am a violent person and I control violent people, and those violent people have a gun to the head of someone's loved one. And I say, you're going to change your vote, or else my violent person is going to do what my violent self tells them to do. That's what you're alluding to. And yet Trump had no direct connection to anyone in the riot. There's not one
Trump
shred.
Didn't Trump tell all of them to go to the Capitol, and then they went to the Capitol? No, at the end of the speech, he told them, "We know you'll march to the Capitol."
Hold on. Do you have a single shred of evidence, which I know you don't, that he tweeted Enrique, who was just here and said that this didn't happen, that he tweeted Enrique, hey, go and lock down the Capitol for me. I'm going to threaten these congressional assholes.
So we're going to, this is the last part of his speech. I can read it. The last part of his speech. So we're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue.
You keep using the same innuendo.
Let me finish.
I'm sick of it.
I love Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue, and we're going to the Capitol, and we're going to try to give, the Democrats are hopeless. They never vote for anything, not even one vote. But we're going to try and give our Republicans, the weak ones, because the strong ones don't need any of our help. We're going to try and give them the kind of
say any of that, Destiny.
He said all of this. This was all at the end of his speech. You just haven't seen any of this because you don't know anything of the speech beyond the one propaganda line that they shoved down your fucking throat.
He didn't call up a congressman and say, hey, you are going to vote my way or the riot will continue.
No, he called the congressman, and he was calling them saying, don't you guys want to reconsider your vote now? When McCarthy said, call off your goons, they're rioting, Trump was like, well, it seems like they might have a good reason to be mad, right?
That's not taking responsibility for the goons. That's making an observation.
Hold on. Here. How about this? Let's say.
Go ahead, Dad.
Let's say that like a friend. There's me and another guy.
Has to be studied.
We walk up to you, and the other guy says, "I'm gonna fucking shoot you," and then I say, "Listen, I'm not connected to this guy at all. I've got nothing going on with this guy." And then you ask, well, "What does he want? What does he want from me?" He's like, "Well, he wants you to do what I say, but I'm not connected to him. If he shoots you, it's not on me." Like that's what you're alleging is. That's what's going on here, man. That's what's happening. You don't understand a single word of that, did you? It just kind of.
I think that's the longest. I think Michael Phelps can't make that fucking word.
It was a word
salad. How about this? Here, you asked for a more direct connection. Okay.
Yes, please.
Do you know about the whole Michael Flynn thing?
Yes, I know about the Michael Flynn thing.
You know that Michael Flynn had basically a paramilitary group around him called the First Amendment Praetorians, and they were there on January 6th. And Michael Flynn was part of Trump's.
Yes, and you know that and we know that the Oath Keepers were there to protect Roger, whatever the fuck his name is. What does that have to do with the price of geese in fucking China? Nothing.
You're asking for a direct connection.
I'm asking for a direct connection between Trump.
And the people who controlled the rioters were in Trump's inner circle. That's the fucking connection. Listen,
no, you're so stupid.
Okay, so produce a single cell phone call, text, email, note, X post, anything telling Michael Flynn, get your boys over there and have them do fucking work.
Well, this is the problem, is when we do have evidence of like the opposite, like the Pelosi clip, right? Okay, boom. You go, oh, well, that was said in private. Well, okay, cool. What's the fundamental difference between somebody recording the Pelosi clip? That is what he said. He said, it's in the background.
I didn't even get a chance to finish what I was saying about Pelosi.
Oh, okay.
You guys think that it was Pelosi's fault, but do you even know why you fucking think that?
I don't actually think it's Pelosi's fault. I just think that it's disingenuous to say Trump had control over the National Guard when there were no executive orders, which he installed this time, so that he did have control of the National Guard. You motherfuckers are literally making shit up as you go along.
Federal territory. It's Washington, D.C. Donald Trump is the commander-in-chief. He is the ultimate final pull on the deployment of the National Guard to D.C. He can do it without any authorization whatsoever. It's federal territory. You're fucking retarded.
Because you can't get away from your rhetoric.
So retarded.
You just can't.
Holy
I love you
shit,
guys.
you're so
You're
retarded.
wonderful. Thank you for showing up. It's awesome.
The chain of command with the DC National Guard ends with Trump.
Yes. just to be clear, everyone on the right who talks about Pelosi being responsible, Pelosi's not actually responsible for the National Guard at the Capitol. This talking point comes from the fact that the Capitol Police are controlled by a 3-man board, which consists of the Sergeant at Arms of the House,
That's not the foundation of the claim.
Shut up. The Sergeant at Arms of the Senate, and the Architect of the Capitol. Pelosi, as House Speaker, can appoint one of these 3 positions, only one, not the other 2. And after she's appointed him, she can't actually control what he does. So no, it's not even if.
Yeah, the leader of the party that she doesn't control it. She's the leader of the party, and it's her
Hold on.
Who holds the leash? Who holds the leash?
Gibbs, please. Do you
the
understand
3-man
what
board
you're
holds
saying?
the leash.
You're saying that. Hold on. You're saying. Hold on. Please.
This is stupid.
Gibbs, please. My God. You're saying that. Oh, obviously Pelosi didn't have to directly ask him to do it. It's obvious.
That's what y'all are saying about
so
Trump.
When we go to Trump, it's like, oh,
that's
where's
my whole
the
point,
protection?
Wick. Thank you.
They don't
Thank you. That's my whole point,
You're
Wick.
trying to eat your cake and have it.
No, Wick. That's the whole point. I've been trying. Hold on, Wick. I know that you're trying to preempt the point because they haven't been able to get past it. I have been making this point the whole time that it's a double standard. It is a double standard that they keep holding these people to. With Trump, it's got to be specific. We have literal direct take with Pelosi in this situation, taking some responsibility. We don't have any of that with Trump. But however, we're supposed to imply these things about Trump. And it's a double standard.
We can imply it about Trump. We don't need video of Trump taking responsibility of it. No shit. Trump doesn't. No, we don't need it because it's in his job title, you fucking retard. He doesn't have to say, I have responsibility for this. He's the commander-in-chief. It's federal territory, and it's the National Guard of DC. He doesn't need to say anything. Also, Trump would never take fucking responsibility for literally anything. No, he's never needed to.
He takes responsibility for Operation Warp Speed?
Now.
He doesn't need to take, he doesn't have to say.
Job title.
Let's make a little more money. And I'll try to get to, look, I don't think I can get to all the chats tonight, but I'll get to some of them. $5 from Soy Pill to say the revolution will not be televised. The revolution is also a peaceful protest, and we are all allowed to be not hurting cops or trespassing. $20 from Pottering Politics to say the DC mayor nor House Speaker are in the National Guard chain of command. They can't order the National Guard's deployment, nor prevent it. MAGA. Why did Trump not order the Guard to be deployed during the 3 hours we watched the riot unfold?
My understanding.
I don't know who's MAGA on this panel. I'm not specifically MAGA, but maybe somebody else is.
I'm 90%, 70%.
Hold on. Who here voted for Trump?
I mean, 3 times, one every time.
Okay, then you're MAGA. Go ahead, answer the question.
That's the definition they use.
I don't accept
you voted for Trump.
Oh, bullshit.
I'll just ask you the question directly then. I'll ask it to you directly. How come Trump didn't deploy the National Guard throughout the entire thing?
Well, they actually have the timeline. Hang on, I had that up. Where was that? I think it's here.
But why didn't you do it, though?
All right, so I don't know. I'm not Trump. Why did? Okay.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Hold on. Fair enough. Hold on.
Failing on his part to not do it.
Hold on. So,
do you think it was a failing on his part to not do it?
I think it was a failure on Nancy Pelosi and the arrest of the organization who prevented it from being the National Guard from even being there in the first place.
Take a guess?
No, how can she prevent it?
What do you mean prevent? How can
Nancy Pelosi prevent the National Guard from being there?
At that time, Trump did not have the executive authority that he does now to order the National Guard out, which is one of the first things he did when he got into office this time, because he saw what happened the last time. Mayor Bowser requests National Guard for traffic management on 12/31. On January 3rd, President Trump agrees with Chris Miller to activate National Guard to support law enforcement.
Can I just ask you, Grid?
Yeah.
Do you think if Trump had asked for the National Guard that they would have come?
I don't think there was time. I mean, I personally don't think that there was time to mobilize them. Depending on, I don't remember where they were staged like off-site.
What if he asked the day before?
Was happening and it was happening? So just
I could only hear one of you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Just from the website here, and I'm reading directly. It says this authority to activate the DC National Guard has been delegated by the President to the Secretary of Defense and further delegated to the Secretary of the Army. The DC National Guard is the only National Guard unit out of all the 54 states and territories which reports only to the President. And this
I got a question about this National Guard thing
since like the 1800s. So
Dev, can I ask you something? Can I ask you something about the National Guard?
Hold on, wait. I want my initial question answered first. Then, so was it a failing that Trump didn't do it?
If they were close enough to respond, I think so. Yeah, I think he probably should have.
I have a question though.
It was a failing that they weren't there in the first place. I've heard the rhetoric that they didn't expect the attendance they had, and that's why they weren't really prepared with the National Guard. I don't know. Tim, who was actually there, could speak better to that than I could. I wasn't there. So I don't know. I think it was a failing not to have the National Guard there with as many people as they had on site. I don't think the Capitol Police were equipped to do it. I think that even the Capitol Police were not there in sufficient numbers for the amount of.
Does anyone else?
Hold on. Why is
take
this?
A crack at this question of why didn't President Trump, who again, as we just saw, has sole authority of the National Guard, why didn't they call up the National? Why did?
Just to be clear, the answer is they didn't for the same reason why there were no National Guard there when there probably should have been. It's because nobody knew that Donald Trump was going to tell all of his supporters to go march on the Capitol after his speech. They didn't know that, and Trump knew that, and Trump wanted that. That's what he wanted. Trump wanted to go to the Capitol afterwards. That was the whole goal. That was the plan. He was happy they were there, and he was happy that they were rioting.
If Trump had called in the National Guard and then they had taken like a long time to mobilize and get there or whatever, would that have saved him from what you guys are accusing him of?
It would dramatically change the outlook. If as soon as the riot started, Donald Trump was taking actions. Donald Trump was taking actions. Donald Trump was taking actions to change
the National Guard to throw the coup officially. That's what they would say. They would say he mobilized the National Guard to guarantee. That's what they would say.
Yeah, that's the angle.
So let's not play the game.
You see how you guys are all getting hyped up? You see how you guys are getting hyped up? You see how you guys are all getting hyped up on imaginary positions? You're projecting your own partisan bullshit onto us. You're projecting your partisan bullshit onto us. And you're excited. You think you just owned a position that nobody even holds here.
No, that is your position already. Because you go, oh, he's implied that we're going to have all these people go down and take the Capitol. If his next thing is to go, let me call the National Guard, y'all are going to go, well, I wonder why he's doing that. He's probably doing it to guarantee that those guys are safe and make sure that they get Pence. We all know they would do that, and you're lying if you're saying that you wouldn't be.
You would have cried harder. You would have cried way harder.
No.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
it's
that
clear.
at all.
I mean,
you wouldn't have
even
cried
your
harder.
own side knows you would do that.
I'm not
Like,
lying to you. No. Listen. If Trump took steps as soon as listen to me. If Trump took steps as soon as violence broke out to try and stop it, I would give him credit for that.
Bullshit.
Absolutely.
He did.
Absolutely.
They shut him down on X. The fucking Twitter files make it very clear.
Wait, what do you mean he shut him down on X?
The fourth branch.
What do you mean he shut him down on X?
Doesn't want to go. Well, they terminated his account.
No,
wouldn't let him continue to.
I thought you meant. Oh, yeah, because he encouraged a violent insurrection, of course.
Yeah, because he said go peacefully and patriotically, and that's fucking retarded.
Why do you only quote that one part of the speech? What about the fight like hell?
Why do you ignore that they shut down his ability to speak when he was being peaceful?
He was banned for inciting a violent insurrection.
You deep throat this narrative. I don't know why you can't give it up.
Because
it doesn't make any sense.
Because we say that he incited a violent insurrection for inviting everybody to the Capitol because that's what happened. We don't have the narrative is just truth.
You're so delusional. You think that they needed Trump to say. You needed Trump to go protest. Fucking people were angry. They were angry
because of lies that Trump told. Because of lies that Trump told. Yes, that was part of the plan.
Why
no shit.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
Why the fuck do you collapse every person that agrees with this protest into a one caricature monolith? Why?
Because almost every single lie. Because almost every single lie originated with Donald Trump. Give me an example of one that didn't. Oh wait.
Of lies that didn't originate with Trump? How about I give you a better
No.
Stay on
Give
point.
me an example of a lie. No. You said they were there. You said they were there for a ton of different reasons. Give me one reason that didn't come from the Trump camp. Give me one reason that didn't come from the Trump camp.
95% of people went there because Trump said so. And your argument for it, and I'm saying, look, I don't even need the evidence. What's your
Wait, no, I got this one from Draven. I'm exaggerating. I got this one from Draven. Let's not exaggerate. I don't wanna exaggerate too hard.
Bye-bye! Monstrous fiend!
Pounce is definitely the best movement skill in the game, bar none. Oh! Oh! I almost died. There is one problem with clearing all this way too fast. You guys see it? That Stalker, thanks for the 5 months of subs, bro. I don't have a life potion that heals me. I think I need to go get one from Una.
Time to bust this thing open.
Don't forget to gamble for that awesome unique talisman. What awesome unique talisman gamble? From the vendor? I don't need to gamble though. I've got a sick talisman already, dude. Why do you think I need to gamble? Also, I should upgrade my armor. Actually. Kablam. Kablam. That is terrible, but it's better than what I'm currently wearing. Clear and Wolf is rough until I get my Herald set up. And don't I have to like scale AoE quite a bit? I think that's what my friend doesn't have. His clear, he's level 95. And his clear still does not look great. I don't think it, ooh, do we? Let's identify it. Freezes me when activated. Okay, we're gonna gamble. I just froze. I thought that it meant it freezes my character, not the actual game. Oh my gosh. GGG, you cannot have these sorts of traps in your game. Kind of ridiculous, guys. Kind of ridiculous. It did not lie. It spoke the truth. All right? And for that, okay, I give it to GGG. They were very transparent. You will be frozen upon activation. I mean, it's a very smart way of saying, hey, we need to freeze the game for a little bit, you guys. Just freeze for a little bit. We'll be good. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's see where my dad is, you guys. Let's see. Oh, Headhunter is 15 divine in the core league. My brother is rejoicing.
Reloading.
My brother really wanted a Headhunter. I think he can get one now. Oh, a Sapphire Ring right as we're going in to this boss fight. How perfect, guys. Sick. Sick. Okay, okay. Okay. Horned Crown. I literally couldn't... I wasn't even using my helmet this entire time. That's depressing. What is Wolfsbane? Is Wolfsbane... I mean, I might go sell that. Superior Rusted Cuirass. Alright. Alright, let's go. Alright, guys. Let's keep it up. I still haven't died, by the way. Just gonna throw that out there for the non-believers in the chat.
Stronger with every strike.
Level 15. We're right on point.
Horrific. They're insane.
Sick, guys. Here we go. Gianor. 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 Oh, hello. Let's do it, guys. Oh, we've got some crazy Age of Mythology music going on now, guys.
argument. Let's weigh out the argument. Destiny's a bright guy sometimes. Maybe he's right about this.
Sure. Here's my argument.
The entire
my
social
argument
media
is that
communities were
he
fractured
said,
into a bunch of different groups.
Give me an example. One example. Give me one example.
Look, come
Give
on,
me an
man.
example. Just one example. You have so many. You should have one example. Just one.
One example.
You got a folder full of 4chan memes.
Yeah.
You don't have an
Give me
example of
one example of a reason why somebody went that didn't originate from the Trump camp. Just one. One example.
Jake Chansley. QAnon shaman. That's the one. Is that a good one I can use, or do I have to use another
The
one?
QAnon shaman was calling people to the. He was calling people to the Capitol.
What? So your claim was that Trump was telling people they had to go and protest.
My claim,
right?
and my claim, and you said, well, people were there for other reasons, and I said every reason is a reason that ultimately came from Trump. So when you guys say, well, they were just there because they were mad about
it. No, they didn't have to. No, I'll answer. Everybody that is concerned about mail-in voting didn't learn that from Trump.
They did.
And a lot of folks were concerned about mail-in voting.
No, because of
and
Trump.
There's a whole wide.
Because of Trump.
Where did they learn it from?
The only way anyone can learn about.
Yes, because of Trump. Yes, because of Trump. Trump made
Not just
Trump
because
said that
of Trump.
mail-in ballots were going to be rigged 6 months ahead of time.
We can short circuit this.
No, MAGA can't think for themselves. That's why you guys repeat every single fucking talking point you get from Trump.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, order in this court. If you guys, this is to Kung Fu Joe, Stream Rift, to that side, to Tim, all of you. Can you show me someone in the right-wing influence sphere, or just anyone who was crying foul about mail-in ballots before President Trump was? If it did not originate with Trump, there should be someone.
Isn't it crazy? We can point to. We can literally point to.
Are you asking if anybody like other than Trump was saying the mail-in ballots thing before Trump said it? Yeah, lots of people have been saying that for decades.
Okay, can you name one?
Like, do you remember the Bush election? Like,
yeah,
Gore and all that? Yeah.
Gibbs.
Bush and Gore, that didn't have to do with mail-in ballots. Are you serious?
No, they ballot out. No, they did come up. It did come up, but not for the fraud.
Admiral Gibbs, Roger Stone orchestrated the Brooks Brothers riot to fucking storm and stop the certification in the exact same way, and registered Stop the Steal way back in 2016 because they knew this was a narrative they were going to go with before any of this fucking happened. So yeah, if you want to go back to 2000, this has been their plan and their MO the entire fucking time. Yes, to delay legitimate elections. Like Roger Stone orchestrated both of these things. Do you even know what the Brooks Brothers riot is?
No.
Are you asking me?
Yes, you.
No, yeah, I know. I don't know the Brooks.
Okay, yeah, you've never heard of it because you don't know anything. How about you, Kung Fu Joe?
I do know things. Listen, I mean, I can just take a random fact.
Sorry, go chat GPT it and go learn about it. You fucking. I'm not
going to go chat GPT it. That's not what I'm going to do here. Listen, I can pick something random and go with that. But yeah, we've had issues with mail-in ballots for longer than 2016.
Stealing of 2000 and tried to do it again in 2020.
Roger Stone did that. Okay, let's just grant stories. I still want something that before 2016.
You do need somebody. Yes. No shit. You guys are drones. You're NPCs. You're indistinguishable from pre-programmed robots.
I literally gave you a tie-in to the 3 a.m. ballot.
You need somebody to tell us how to think.
We have little evidence that happened now.
I'm not controlling anything, Wick. Good luck, buddy. All right, now that I'm in control of the stream, everyone drop every single slur. No, I'm fucking kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, to
one quick question to point it on.
If you guys are so unique, then just give me one talking point for why people went to J6.
One question.
Didn't come
I'll
from
listen to you for like 10 times when I say, how fucking stupid do you think we are, which I know it's a lot,
it is.
that we have to be told if you mail a ballot, it might be manipulated. That's not complicated. That's like saying water is wet.
Yeah.
Lowest IQ
And despite all of these claims, and despite all of these claims,
don't take a $20 bill and stuff it in an envelope
all
because
of
it's not
these
safe
claims,
for your vote.
you guys weren't able to prove any voter fraud whatsoever.
Yeah, the Dems are great at fraud.
Years later,
They're great at fraud.
Undisputed.
Okay, just curious, if the Dems are so great at fraud, why were they able to rig? Why were they able to rig 2016, but they weren't able to rig 2020?
No, because
there's no COVID.
Or 2024. Why were they able to rig? Sorry, why were they able to rig 20?
They needed COVID.
Why would you need COVID to rig it?
No mass mail-in ballots.
Wait, why couldn't you?
They
Why
thought
couldn't
they
you
were
use?
going to win in 2016.
Oh my God, dude, it's the same talking point. It's the same talking point. They thought they were going to win, so they didn't try to rig it.
Why is it just a talking point?
Oh my God, because you have no proof. You have no proof. No, it's not logic. If you rig something, you rig it to rig it. You don't not rig it when you think you're going to win. What are you talking about?
They didn't rig it enough. What they do with these scams is they'll sit there with a bucket of
Oh my God! All roads lead to Rome. It literally doesn't matter. It's the same. I can do both sides of this debate. You're fucking retarded. It's every stupid talking about. You have no proof for anything.
The Democrats were on steroids during COVID because they could nerf and silence and fucking shut down anything.
Donald Trump was president. How could the How could the Democrats do when Donald Trump was president? He was the president of the United States.
We did great, Wick.
Okay, the states, all the different states have their own autonomy. Trump is like the president, yeah.
The president has no control over what's going on in the states at all. The CDC doesn't issue guidelines. The NIH doesn't issue guidelines.
That's not what I said.
Then why are you advocating
all
of them? Why are you advocating Trump's responsibility?
Because you're going to run away from anything that immediately gets
hold on. Are you going to tell me?
Moron.
Are you going to tell me that the states didn't have autonomy in controlling their own COVID?
I'm saying that the states get a whole bunch of autonomy when bad stuff is happening, but when a Democrat is in charge, apparently the president has all the autonomy.
You're just gonna. You came here to dodge and dance.
I'm not dodging. The reality is the states have some degree of autonomy, yes, but largely the states follow federal guidance, right? Don't the states generally follow? Don't the states generally follow federal guidance? Yes or no?
There's no fucking point.
Fucking
Why should
retard.
I answer
That is
your
the point.
questions?
I just answered yours because I answered your question.
All mine.
Because I answered yours. Judge yours because your answers are retarded. They're wrong. They're stupid. You're uninformed. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, says the guy who says, "Oh, we need influencers to tell us what to think." Right?
You have an influencer president. What do you have a celebrity president? Of course you need influencers to tell you what to think.
And
you
he
fucking
tells me
retards
everything
about Joe Rogan.
I don't even like the guy.
What major policy position do you disagree with Trump for the last year on?
Like being a Shabbos goy for Israel.
Yeah,
How about that?
There we go. Nice.
There we go. But that's the same thing you're accusing.
Oh my God, so good.
But hey, you're a Shabbos goy too.
I know it's coming up on 3 hours now, and I want to give people a chance. If they need to go. Tim, do you have anything for Trump? Or I'm sorry, do you have anything for Destiny or Dev here?
I actually think Destiny is Trump now. I think he has inherited all of Trump's attributes. So I appreciate that alignment.
Destiny, you're going to agree with everything he says, then, right?
Do I have anything that you know what ballots are allowed and what ballots aren't? What's safe, what's not? Grid.
Also, as a quick thing, earlier this Milwaukee voter fraud thing was brought up that apparently somebody got convicted for in March. This person was helping the Republicans rig the election. I don't know why that was even brought up.
No,
I looked that up.
That was not the law.
Is that true?
If you're talking about jury finds former Milwaukee election official guilty of election fraud, Zapata or whatever, is that what we're talking about?
Nope, that is not what I was talking about. Thank you. I appreciate it. That was a good dunk, though. What was her name? It was something Vaughn, if we recall. Yeah, good misdirect. It was, here we go. Let me just pull her name back up. I had that right here. But yeah, Vogg is her name. Yeah.
How do you spell it? How do you spell it?
Vogg. Dash Vogg. Yeah, let me find it.
While he's looking that up, I want to give the mic to Soypill. Soypill wanted to jump on for a little bit. Did you have anything specific to say, Soypill, or are you just here to fuck around?
I believe I already asked the question. I mean, these people can't answer anything. The
Claire
instant there's like a very clear question to go in and say, "Hey, why didn't Trump send in the fucking National Guard for hours?" And your answer is fucking silence. Oh, actually, I'm not MAGA. I'm not MAGA.
Here, let me talk about.
You guys don't have a fucking.
Let me talk about
answer
that.
To this. Yeah, go ahead.
This point is fucking nothing. This question does fucking nothing. And no matter when the National Guard showed up, it would not have saved Trump from any accusation you guys are leveling today. This point is fucking.
I'm sorry. Your answer to this question is.
Hey, hold on.
You would just move the goalpost, therefore I don't have to answer the question?
No, I didn't. No, here, let me ask you, Soypill. Did the National Guard show up?
Yeah.
Did the National Guard show up?
Yeah.
They did. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. So it doesn't matter when the fuck they showed up, does it?
Did they show up a week later? Did they show up a month
later?
Did they show up when the
hours later?
It doesn't matter when they showed up.
What do you mean
if they showed up 2 weeks ago?
Thank you. It doesn't matter.
Why doesn't it matter?
It would absolutely matter.
You're the one saying that it's okay. Oh, it matters how soon they got there.
I am saying that. Why would it not matter when they showed up?
What if he called them and then they lagged it and they took some time to get there?
They didn't do that. Yeah, but he fucking didn't. What do you mean?
And if he did, it wouldn't have saved him from any of this criticism right now. None of it. You would have still.
No, you're stupid
bullshit.
Fucking moron. If he called them the instant the virus broke out and they took 2 hours to get there, I'd say, wow, it seemed like he did the exact right thing he was supposed to do, but he didn't do that.
No, they would have probably said, "Oh, see, the National Guard's there to like solidify the takeover."
Also, as a quick fact check, that VOG person you brought up,
box with shadows,
VOG
invite
was the
straw men
boss of the
what,
person who
like,
got
I'm saying, but I'm
convicted.
not saying that.
This VOG was not the person
and now
convicted.
there's an open investigation into VOG, which I just went into.
So not the conviction. So you lied.
So the person, hold on, no. I was once again. I said the head of the department in which there was a conviction for multiple cases of voter fraud, and then now we have emails directly tying her to the 3 a.m. voter surge in Wisconsin, where he won by 0.67%. So hey, yeah, I think it was 100% accurate.
What?
Everything I just
No,
said.
what happened was the.
Hey, everybody, what's up? Tom here, back at you with another video. And yeah, I'm gonna just stop listening to that Destiny debate slop for a minute here. And I'm gonna talk about the game. You know what? I'm enjoying this league start. So Crossbows was actually my first ever league start back in 0.1. It's the first build that I played because I wanted to try something new that wasn't in PoE 1. You know, I cleared Arbiter with that, most of the pinnacles.
Carver Triber here. This is gonna get ugly.
But this is my first time playing grenades since then. I did do galvanic shards as like a minor build last league. Well, actually, no. I played that until like tier 15s. But I want to try a Tactician grenade guy. So that's what I'm doing here. Did I ever hit level 36? Yes. So I get a thing here. I think I want Wind Dancer. Oh, I need 65 dex? What's my current dex? 48? Alright. I actually have enough spirit for 2 more reservations because of my ascendancy.
Well, that's one down.
But yeah, it's definitely a fun build. I mean, I like being able to be at ranged instead of being a druid and having to constantly be in their face. But I can get in their face if I need to, and I think Wind Dancer is actually going to help a lot with that. I could also just put some armor break on and then run the armor shards give you armor. I could run that. Okay, wait, let's lock in here. So my main combo is actually spam them with gas grenades and then shoot an explosive shot and then they all blow up. And the gas grenade explosion does a fuck ton of fire damage, ignite damage. So the only reason I ever use regular explosive grenades is during bosses if I just need more grenades. Alright, here we go. No. Yeah, I think I need to switch this chest piece. I mean, that gives me a lot more armor. I think I need to do that. Now, this helmet actually helps me with damage, right? I have decent crit chance. Oh, it's only 7. If I lose the helmet, crit chance goes to 6. Do I want to scale crit? That's the question. I might as well, right? I'm already sort of doing it. Well, no. Oh, wait. Yeah. I'm already sort of doing it. I lost my crit gloves by corrupting them. I'm overthinking it. This part of my build does not matter. So let's just go with damage. Yeah. Okay. I want Regals.
Make a wish!
You can also shoot explosive shot first, and then shoot gas cloud, gas grenade. And if you ignited somebody with the explosive shot, then when the gas grenades, like, you know, open up and release the gas, an explosion is caused. Because, like, you have an ignited character inside the cloud.
Another notch on me helmet.
No, I'm not doing energy shield. Forgot about that.
quickly.
Anything catch? I'll take it. Be wary.
There we go. That ought to do it.
You drain. Oh. We have a deal. Stay wary.
So many stairs. With all their cleverness, you'd think they'd have made some sort of elevator.
Yeah, they had real clever use of game mechanics, those guys.
This, I recommend. Good luck.
Alright, just keep going, just keep going.
They weren't pulling my leg.
I've done this so many times. It's crazy.
Idiot! You're done!
Grenades have a 15% chance to activate another time. I like that. Let's go for that. Does that count for each individual grenade? Because if it does, that means I should be getting like... I can't do the math right now. About, I think, 2 every 3 shots. Because I've got 5 in each. Or is it like 3 every... No, 120... What is the math here? 1/20th. I have 5 chances. I can't do math without a fucking calculator. Or I can do it with a pen and paper a little bit. But not in my head. Oh. Revive. That's sad. What death number was that for me? 4.
Bloody horrors! More time.
Okay, I'm not gonna run this right now. I'm just gonna get the checkpoint and then come back out. Definitely not worth the time right now. Does this take me somewhere logical? Yes, it does.
Bye-bye!
Just want to get a little bit more over leveled, and then I'm gonna go get my second ascendancy, and then I'm gonna get the pin tech going.
Probably ain't the good kind of mushrooms. Vile creature!
Greetings.
We've all got regrets.
Actually, maybe I don't do this because I'm about to get my second ascendancy, and then I'm going to spec out of the Spirit Reservation. So I want to just keep War Banner, just level up War Banner. All right, let's just do that. Actually, we're thinking ahead here.
So, in particular.
This is halfway decent, but I want the extra grenade. I don't think it's better enough. I don't think I use any resources on that. Okay. Wait, I didn't look at boots. We're gonna check for melee amulets.
Take your time. Farewell.
I'm out of augmentation orbs. Brilliant. Hold on to that a little bit longer.
Make a wish! Bloody horrors!
Never touch those mushrooms.
Come to bed with me.
Yeah, I've done worse. Hate to tumble and run, but a solid gold baby. Had a dream like this once.
Okay.
How can I?
Need a guide?
Hope I can get that back once we're done with this door.
Bye-bye!
Gah! Shite, that's hot! Try not to get
herself
lost.
Probably stood right here.
Stupid Sally!
Make a wish!
Another notch on the helmet. sun. Wonder how they managed that.
My flesh burns in your honor. Let the sun curl your flesh.
Well, he's lost it.
The heat radiates. Be consumed. Touch of Kobek. Touch of
I like the sun as much as the next guy, but you lot took it too far.
Vile ingenuity never ceases. These runes. I can make out symbols for blood and offering. Wait, no. It's not a blood offering, it's someone of vile blood. Perhaps if I... It worked? Whoa! Now this is truly something! The apex! It's opening! We're back in the encampment? I can't believe it! We were right on top of this device the entire time. Oh, what? It's some sort of gateway.
I'm gonna go for my second ascendancy before I go into the portal. Level 11, I need to be one more level up for that. I'm all tapped out on T10s, right? Yup. We have a 11 spirit gem. That's going to require me to be one more level higher. Keep these in our inventory here. Let's go identify.
You know not what you do.
Disenchant. Oh, these gloves, we're definitely going to roll these. Sell them. This helmet is halfway decent. I mean, I feel like that's just a strict upgrade compared to what I'm wearing. 93 life, yeah, okay. 1,000, okay. Let's do that. So that's a good item. We'll sell that, or disenchant. And then this bad boy, flammability, damage. Alright, buy or sell. We're going to just, actually, we're going to equip this and sell this. Disenchant, I mean. Okay, and then actually we're going to do that, that.
Don't drink the water.
Do I alch this? No, let's just hold on to it for now. We'll decide what we want to do later when we have more information. Oh, I missed the Silver Fist. Alright, let's hit this first. Man, I knew I was forgetting something in this zone. Well, he's gonna be a pushover now.
Rare finds, rarer prices. Still alive, I see? Don't ask me how I got it. You'll never guess where I found that. Bit of a treasure hunter yourself, I see. Watch for snakes.
What do you need? See you?
Greetings. I've got a different idea. Well, that's one down. There. Good riddance.
Greetings.